Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to podcast to Newbie.
I just dropped by with gift for warming of house, but instead I find you grappling with local off.
Imagine that's like Thomas Riker is actually like Russian down on the planet.
Oh man,
We finally got to the other Riker.
Yeah, we did it. Let's get in there.
You need
what
to
a
make a poster.
twist.
Have you seen the movie Double Impact?
Yes.
They should make.
Pair?
Do you
You
mean
mean Double Dragon?
Right?
You mean
that would be
Double
a
Dragon?
good. That would be a good porn title. Double Impact. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Also
I'm
Deep
sure it
Impact, but that's already a name of a movie.
Yeah.
Can't copy
Yeah.
it twice, dude.
Anyway,
You know what else too is that this week I went to go see Sinners, and it's Michael B.
about
Jordan playing
twins?
two characters, twins. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I was about to say,
oh my
like,
It's like a
God.
you're
Parent
about to
Trap
bring up
thing,
Sinners,
right?
but how does this relate to Star Trek? Oh,
He's
okay,
playing twins, and I watched it twice this weekend. The movie.
Mhm.
oh my gosh!
And-
wow, I want to
yeah.
go this week.
I watched it in between. I watched this episode in between the movies, and it was funny. Because then I went back to the movie. I was like, oh man,
You then need to watch
Riker.
Parent Trap.
Riker and
Oh,
Sinners.
Riker. Oh, Riker.
There's got to be like a whole history of movies of people who play like their clones.
That's how.
Yeah.
That's how
A
in
full
future
movie.
episodes. In future episodes, that's how we'll know it's the bad Riker or the good Riker, because he would play the. They're like, play that solo, play that fucking solo, and he's like,
And also, people always say that Michael B. Jordan is the modern day Jonathan Frakes.
yeah.
Really?
All you hear is he's all play the solo.
God.
the
I
solo.
thought you really meant that. I was like, oh my God, I've never heard that before. You said that so convincingly, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Thinking back, I don't know why I would think that that's
Thinking
even-
back
It's
to 10
okay.
seconds ago, I don't know
Yeah.
why.
I don't know why I would. Anybody would make
This
that
is why- very
comparison.
convincing.
This is why I
It was
think,
very
I think
convincing.
it's easily sell you on a chair.
Yeah.
Wait, that was happening before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sarah
I'm
has a
very
chair
gullible.
that she
I'm
bought
very
from
gullible.
a crystal guy, and she got a deal. She got a deal.
It's a good chair. It's a very
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
comfortable
yeah.
chair.
Look,
Good
if
chair,
someone
dude.
tells me something, I will believe it.
He's
That's
like
all.
the chair salesman was like, "Look, I have a twin. He looks just like me, and he doesn't use his chair, and he's got back problems, and I use his chair, no back problems.
So I'd be like,
we're
oh,
twins."
wow, okay, that's amazing. I want the chair you
Oh, you don't
have.
believe me? Oh, I'll go and get him right now.
Yeah,
Then he
yeah.
goes
And then he comes
inside.
in, he's like, "Hey, my name's Tim. my name's Jeff."
Oh my God.
Little do you
Yeah.
know, then they
I'm that
both show up at the
person.
same time.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey Jeff, how have you been liking showing her this chair?
Hey, it's
Like-
good.
I wish I always had this chair."
My back.
You-
I have to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
It's just Watto again.
Yeah. Why does everything go to Watto?
all of your impressions
Yeah.
eventually turn to
Yeah.
Watto.
You want to buy boy? You
want to
buy
buy
chair, you got free boy. Best racer in the galaxy.
This chair is not overrated like Herman Miller.
Yeah.
We watched Second Chances this week. We finally reached the double Riker episode, the episode that was originally titled while they were writing the script, Too Many Rikers.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish it said. Dang it, that's so close to too many grandmas.
Wow.
You know what it should have been
Rikers, one
called?
cup.
Starring Bo Derek and Olympia Dukakis.
2 Rikers and 1 trumpet, or whatever he plays.
One
Two
trumpet,
Rikers,
yeah.
one trumpet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Faster, Riker. Riker's gaining on us.
Wait, so at the end, Riker gives him his trumpet?
I think
Is that-
so.
Yeah.
He was like,
Is that-
you learn Freebird.
Yeah.
I didn't do
What?
it. None of us can.
Yeah. Also, why did Deanna act like a dick at the beginning to be like, Riker
don't
does not
know.
play this song.
Yeah. He's like,
We're getting ahead of ourselves,
Yeah.
people. We're getting
What are we
way
getting
ahead
ahead?
of
What are
ourselves.
you talking about?
Hold on.
So she is a dick, dude. She's like, play Master of Puppets, and he doesn't know the solo, dude. I thought for a second like that he had like planned it with like Data to be like, if you ever hear me, if this song ever starts playing and you hear it, you call me in, dude, because I don't know how to play this fucking song, dude. and Data was like checking in on him. He's like, oh, they're playing the song. I gotta pull him out of there. And he's like, Riker, you gotta get out of there. Phone call for Mr. Herman.
It was kind
I
of
thought
perfect.
it was going to be a plot point where
Me too.
somehow, for
He
some
needed to play it.
reason,
And the double like knew how to play it, and he's like, the real Riker doesn't know how to play shit.
yeah, the weird thing is that like somehow Thomas can play it, but William can't, and you're like, what's going on?
No, it turns out that in those 8 years, he fashioned himself a trombone from the parts at the station, and he learned trombone on his own because he had nothing else
he
to
plays
do.
trombone way better than Will.
And then he became an alien busker.
Yeah.
It's a great episode.
Yeah. You know what? Here's the thing. Here, let me two things. One, if they never bring this up again, dude, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed, dude. I'm gonna be angry with anger.
Yeah.
And I want to burn things down, dude.
How would you know?
Like
How would
if
you know
Thomas never comes back.
I don't know. Yeah, if Thomas doesn't come back, I'm going to lose. If we get to the end of the show in 35 years and he hasn't fucking come back,
In 35
I'm
years.
going to lose my shit, dude. This is the only really plot point that I want them to pay off in future episodes. I don't care about Wesley. I don't care if he comes back. I don't care about anything,
Wesley's
dude.
gone. Yeah,
I don't
Wesley's
care about the
gone.
Okana, the famous Okana. I don't care about Jean Grey coming back. If this Thomas the Tank Twin doesn't come back, dude, I'm gonna be so
Thomas the
fucking
Tank Twin.
Thomas the Tank Twin.
Then two is that I was right all along. Remember, I kept saying like, "Oh, the transporter is just like the thing from Abracadabra." What's the movie called? The Christopher Nolan.
Fly.
No, the Christopher Nolan movie.
It's the fucking the Prestige.
The Prestige.
Yeah.
The Prestige. Yeah.
The
Where, like-
Abracadabra. That would have been great if that was the title he chose.
Dang, I was trying to remember the
better
name of that
title.
other magic movie that came out around the
The
same
Illusionist.
time.
The
What was it?
Illusionist.
Yeah,
The Illusionist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Abracadabra.
There's only so many
Abracadabra.
magic terms we can
So
use here.
I was right. Like you basically are killing one of them and then making the other one live.
Mhm.
And so every time you use a transporter, you're dying a little bit each time.
It proves that the transporter is just a replicator. There is no other explanation for it. Like you can't.
Also,
like-
I hate this. Then now we know this, and we could have brought back Tasha, dude. As soon as she died, zap her in, dude. Zap
Oh
her
my god,
in.
no, you can bring back anything.
Yeah,
Who was it that was
literally
afraid of it?
anything,
Rightfully so. Remember that episode
Tupac,
where
Sarah, we're bringing back Tupac. Bam, he's back, dude.
was it Broccoli Rob
Hitler
that
will
had?
bring him back just to beat the
problem?
shit out of him, dude. And then we bring him again to go to work on him.
I feel like that's very valid. Like, remember how anxious he was about it, and he's just like,
Yeah.
"No, you don't understand. Like, it's
Who was
like
this?
not-
Broccoli Rob?
yeah." He was like
Oh,
terrified
he was
of
right.
it.
He was right, dude. Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
was like,
no,
"I don't
and
want to
also-
get in there."
We said
He's
as
like-
much back then.
Yeah.
It's not like we've changed our opinions because of this episode.
I feel like this now really painted it in a real
Yeah.
way. You know,
He's like, I hate the movie The Illusionist. I hope it's nothing like that.
The thing is, lots of fans will put comments when we talk about the transporter and be like, "No, it's not how it works. It's really
This is
sending
exactly
over."
how it works.
And you're like, "How could it work that way? Look at this episode."
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's literally not how it works. Like, you can't just say you created another Riker because a thing bounced off a thing.
All you need to do is compensate
Yeah.
for some sort of phase differential, and suddenly
Yeah.
you can have as many stable patterns of people as you want.
And somehow it'll like create double the matter. Like, that doesn't make sense.
you know what I
Like,
think of
oh,
is
it's
like,
fine.
is there any loss of you in all of these replications? You know?
Sarah, I was
don't
just
know.
thinking the same thing as you. I was thinking
Like,
Deanna should have
yeah.
been like, let me see your dick. Let me see your dick's match.
like, I
his
don't
is
know.
That's the
huge.
first thing to go.
First thing. Yeah.
Replicator deteriorate.
Every
Yeah.
time you transport, your penis shrinks at an imperceptibly
Some cells
smaller
are
amount.
lost.
Also, Sarah, does he get cloned with foreskin? or sans foreskin.
No,
maybe every now and then it's something different. Yeah,
you slowly get circumcised.
It's like a millimeter, a millimeter difference.
God damn it, dude! But you know what? We're getting that like anti-circumcision movement that's online.
Reset the clock on foreskin connections.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, for real. But there's some people on board that are like, I don't know. I'd imagine they're teleporting like every single day, multiple times a day.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
What does that do to you?
Some people want to do it more than once a day, Sarah. Let them be.
Yeah.
They don't call them freaks. They just
people
like
got
to transport.
places to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Sometimes you just got to transport yourself a few times.
Well, second chances.
I'm good.
Now, can you transport yourself, like hypothetically, let's say? I'm not going to bring this guy up. I'm going to move to different. Okay, say Riker was in an accident on one of the planets, one of the away missions, right? He gets paralyzed. Mm-hmm, can they just fucking shoot him and then just replicate a brand new one? Do you mean like just kill the paralyzed one and then bring a one with feetsies? You know?
I mean, that's a good question.
So the thing is, they have used previous transporter patterns to bring
can you
people
delete
back.
The previous version and go back a couple?
Yeah, just like Prestige, just like the Prestige.
They did that for Dr. Pulaski in the episode where she aged too quickly.
Yeah, they de-aged her via pattern save state.
Yes, like basically we need to
there's no rules to this. Is what you're
just
saying.
Gotta let it go because
you gotta let it go. You can't let this.
No. You can't show us this episode and expect us to go back to normal, dude. It was never normal. Things.
It was to be fair. It was changed since. It was changed since the Pulaski episode.
Unbury Gene Roddenberry and beat that shit out of his corpse, dude. This is horrible what he did, dude.
To be fair, it's been.
But he
fucked.
Did.
Yeah, dude. It's been fucked since the
We're in this
Pulaski episode.
Trump timeline because of him, dude. He hadn't made this episode, dude.
Damn you, Roddenberry!
Damn you to hell!
To be fair, it's been fucked since that Pulaski episode. But technically, it's been fucked since even before that. Because in the original series, there is an episode where, as Captain Kirk is being transported, he accidentally gets split into a good Kirk and an evil Kirk. So
he fights himself?
Yeah, actually. So like there is even
when
back
the talisman
then,
split in two.
Yeah,
two Jackies.
Yeah, the tiger talisman that Captain Kirk was carrying split into mid-transport.
If you clone yourself and you just make out with yourself.
No, that's just masturbation.
Yeah, so, that's what I thought, dude.
I mean, if you want to get fancy, you can call it autosexuality.
All right. Well, Second Chances first aired on May 24th of 1993, but that's only one day after the previous DS9 episode. What was that? The Forsaken?
Was that back episodes?
Yeah, they've been doing this for a while. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it's like back. I thought it was like a Monday and Thursday.
This is just how it feels because of our recording schedule.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I didn't know like literally it was back like a Tuesday and then the next day Wednesday it's a new episode of TNG.
Yeah, I think
Saturday, Sunday usually.
I think it was a Saturday and a Sunday. Yeah, so I think that's what they did. Yeah.
You know what? I don't like that, dude.
Wow. Saturday and Sunday.
Because cool people are out there mingling and going out, dude.
Not nerds watching Star Trek, Ricardo.
No, but what
in
if,
the 90s? Come on.
What if the cool people wanted to also be like cool nerds? And
that was impossible back then.
It was the 90s them because you were airing it on Friday, dude.
What are you nuts, Ricardo? It's the 90s. We're gonna sue you.
God damn it, dude. This is upsetting. This is upsetting news, by the way.
No,
I would have missed it. If I was alive then, I would have missed it.
You were alive back then.
I know, but I wasn't partying. I was still a baby partier.
Yeah. That's a kind of interesting release schedule. I wonder, like, I don't know. That feels weird.
Well, I mean, part of it also is that they didn't really care when it premiered because it always went immediately into syndications. They were kind of just like, whatever.
That's true.
Isn't there prime time? Not that anybody watches cable anymore, but like, wasn't there, growing up, there was like the coveted spot maybe was like WB? Tuesday at 9 or 9 p.m. or something. I don't know, depending on the show.
Prime time in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, evenings
it's still
in
around.
General. Yeah.
2.5 Men. Yeah. They aired 2.5 Men.
Yeah.
The best show on TV
that
right
kind
now.
of stuff. I mean, I guess I never really participated. The only thing I did participate in was like,
you don't watch TV when you were younger?
You don't watch
cartoons? The Ninja Turtles?
No,
that's not prime time at all. No. That's not prime time at all.
Okay, what about Friends? Friends?
No.
Northern Exposure?
No. No.
Two guys, a girl, in a pizza place.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
I watched Wheel of Fortune.
That's approaching.
Prime
time. It's just before
not even
prime
time though. That's pre-prime time.
I wasn't really allowed to like watch a lot of TV, so I read books.
You didn't watch Conan O'Brien? You didn't stay up till like 12:30 to watch Conan O'Brien?
No, I never watched any late night shows.
Oh my god, dude! How did you like develop a sense of humor though?
I don't have one, so I don't know.
Oh boy,
I didn't. So.
Oh my god, dude.
I mean, I don't know. Did people watch a lot of TV growing up? Like,
yes, I watched nothing but TV and movies.
Now look at you.
Didn't really
now look at me,
that.
I'm a winner, dude. I'm hosting a podcast with you guys.
I watched movies. Like I would go to the movie theater like every weekend, but I didn't really watch a ton of TV. I mean, I watched Ghost Adventures. That was
what
my
do you
thing.
do? Wait, Sarah. So you just like hung out in your room and like just stare at the wall? What do you do?
I read books. I don't know.
I know I read books too, but like I also watch interesting things.
I played outside. I don't know. I was a real in the real world person.
Yeah, me too. But I also watched a million hours of TV.
I didn't watch a million hours of TV.
How did you do both?
I just did other things.
That makes no sense.
I haven't been sleeping.
Oh, okay. Since you were a child.
The mid-80s, dude. So.
I read books and I went outside and I played and I did
every so often. I have a nervous breakdown.
Stuff outside.
Yeah, now look at you hosting a podcast with us.
Now I'm here. Yeah, look at you, dude. What did it get you reading all those books?
What was in
same place as me?
Yeah, it didn't
what was in prime time back in the day?
Here's the thing, dude. And this is just
what
wild.
was prime time back in the day?
I'm gonna say this is like wild. I'm jumping around years, but I'm just gonna name some shows that were like that. I was like, I gotta watch this, dude.
Mm-hmm.
When American Gladiator fucking started airing, you couldn't.
American Gladiators,
I gotta drop what I'm doing, and I gotta watch Nitro. I gotta see this dude. I want to grow up to be like Nitro or Saber or Laser.
Wait,
I remember being hyped when I would catch it. I just didn't know when it was on.
Well, yeah. Did American Gladiators air during prime time?
Yeah.
I only remember ever catching it during
NBC.
I only remember ever catching it during daytime on the weekends. I don't think I ever caught it at night.
I think that was the era when I would catch it too.
Yeah. Those were the reruns. You needed to catch it fresh, dude.
Never seen that. Never seen American
To be
Gladiator.
fair, I think during the week,
it was good reality TV.
I would probably either be studying or I would be spending my time on the computer, on the internet, or playing games. I don't think I played or watched much primetime. I think I found most primetime television to be extremely boring. Because a lot of it's like
you could have been watching a muscular guy in spandex shooting Nerf balls at a guy.
You're saying that you were snobby back then. You're like, that show it's below me.
Yeah,
what was primetime?
What was the show you're on, Marvin? Tell everybody the show you're on, dude.
What?
Tell everybody. Don't fucking beat around the bush, dude. What was that show you're on, dude?
What the fuck are you talking about?
What was the show you were on?
It was a Fox special.
Yeah, dude.
Just talking about
the
game show.
It was on prime time. It was on prime time.
Yeah.
What was it, Marvin?
I guess
Marvin's like, I don't watch prime time. I'm on prime time. Okay, there's a big difference.
Yeah, you were on prime time.
He's a star.
Game show. Okay, you mean like what was it called? America's Child Geniuses or something? I forget.
Something like that.
Geniuses,
but that was like a one-off, and also
and look where you are now, Marvin.
But like, okay, so for primetime thing,
wait, you guys never watched like Baywatch on primetime?
No, I actually only ever caught Baywatch.
No,
I caught that on
being part of
weekends.
prime time.
Yeah,
I've never
like
seen
for me, prime time was like
that.
X-Files.
Yes. So I would catch X-Files. I would catch like WWF SmackDown. That's also a primetime show.
Yeah.
And and like you're saying, game shows are technically pre-primetime, but we would sometimes watch like Jeopardy during dinner.
Sometimes. So you're eating dinner early because those are like a 7 p.m. show.
7 p.m. is not early for dinner.
Prime time is 8, dude.
Yeah, prime time is like 8 to 9.
Sorry, 8 to 11 is prime time.
Yeah,
thereabouts.
Okay.
ER, you guys didn't watch ER? ER was at 9.
No.
Yeah, ER.
No, I didn't watch
Qualify, definitely.
I didn't watch ER. I caught reruns of ER during the daytime, like during the summer.
Oh, you were in school, dude? Oh, in summer. So okay.
Yeah, and then like I think I think the only sitcom I watched regularly during what would have been considered primetime would have been like the Drew Carey Show and maybe Home Improvement. That's
what about Dawson's Creek?
It.
Dawson's Creek, dude?
I did not like Dawson's Creek.
Didn't watch. I've never seen any of this
Beverly
stuff.
Hills 90210?
No, didn't see any of these shows.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Completely
Everybody loves Raymond.
Okay, everyone loves Raymond. My grandma would watch that, and I if she was watching it, I'd see a little bit of it.
What about Boy Meets World? Boy Meets World? Come on.
I actually actively hate
Not
Everybody
really.
Loves Raymond. I think it's a
Martin?
hateful show.
Oh, Martin. I do remember a couple episodes of that one.
What about Living Single? Remember Living Single?
No.
I haven't seen Living Single.
What about Dinosaurs? You remember that?
I never caught
Step by
Dinosaurs as it was airing.
Step by Step, I do remember.
I don't even know what Step by Step is about.
Okay.
Some I do.
I don't know what the fuck you guys were doing, dude, to be honest. I don't know what you guys were doing.
Playing Roller Coaster Tycoon. I played a lot of Roller
Playing video
Coaster
games.
Rock from the Sun?
I never really caught that during prime time.
No, not Third Rock from the Sun. Don't.
Oh,
No.
boy.
I was watching The Simpsons, man.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
I would
wasn't
see The Simpsons.
Sunday?
Yeah,
No.
Sunday primetime, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, I would
and
catch The Simpsons, but then I would also catch lots of like when I could go to my grandma's house, I would be watching Cartoon Network during anything that was considered. So during that time would have probably been like Toonami.
Yeah.
So I would
Toonami
probably
was
be
watching
watching
Cartoon
Improvement?
Network primetime.
Home Improvement?
Yeah, I
On
saw
Toonami,
some home. I
Yeah.
saw some Home Improvement in general. Yeah, sure.
Like coming up next, Tim Allen.
Freaks and Geeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm realizing that I didn't really.
I caught some Freaks and
really
Geeks,
watch a lot.
but not that. Okay, there was one show where I went out of my way to try to catch during prime time because I was excited for it, which was Freaky Links. As a kid, I was like, I really want to watch Freaky Links.
I forget what that show even is.
That
It's
sounds very
basically
strange.
like during the heyday of like we'll have an internet website for everything, and this one was like a website that captures paranormal activity and then puts them up on basically like a vlog on a website. And
I'm surprised you would watch something like that.
Well, the thing that caught me was that like the show's called Freaky Links. And there was a real website they made for it called freakylinks.com. So you
Marvin,
could go,
you can't go to a website like that.
You can't go that now. You can't do that now, dude. You can't do that now, dude.
The gimmick I loved was that you could go to the website and it would synchronize with the
to our
show.
old podcast,
Nice.
last week's podcast.
It was an early ARG.
Yeah, so like as the show happened and new episodes of the show aired, the website would update to reflect. So I was like, oh, I gotta watch the episode. So
Did you ever get?
and
Did you
Were
ever
your
accidentally
parents
go to?
like, what the fuck is
FreakyLinks,
freakylinks.com, Marvin?
no, I mean it was very clearly like just stills from the show combined with
Oh,
like,
Okay.
stills. Oh
Yeah.
boy, dude.
but then
Frames or no frames?
the other cool part was that like their rival in the show is called Creepy Clicks, and they did have a creepy.
god, dude.
Marvin,
They
this
had
is
a
not
creepyclicks.com.
Yeah, dude.
This is not
looking good
working
for you,
out.
dude.
Yeah.
Well, they had a creepyclicks.com also, and that would also synchronize with the show. So I was like, "Oh, that's cool." It's like all
this
these
is not
websites
good.
that are
Yeah.
synchronizing to
I'd
the
be
show.
very worried about you as a parent.
Yeah. I'd be
You're
like,
my child.
what are you looking at? Fucking freaky
Why are you on
clips?
creepy
you fucking
clicks?
pervert?
What the fuck
Yeah.
is this?
Yeah. So here's
Anyway,
the thing.
we gotta
You
bring
guys-
this back.
You guys missed out on a lot of. What's
You
so
know what
funny
I
is
didn't
that
miss out on? Beyond Belief. All right, just to bring this back, I was a big Beyond Belief fact or fiction.
that probably wasn't prime time. If I'm
It was not, but
Yeah.
I watched it. That was the one show I, did
think it
love
was.
and watch.
I think
was,
Beyond
actually.
Belief was a
really
primetime
I bet
show.
you.
Yeah.
It's probably not, dude.
Like on debut, it was.
This
In
feels like a
syndication now.
7:30 show.
but it
It
lasted
was a
an
great
hour.
show.
Yes, Beyond Belief was a primetime show. Yes,
we go.
you're
Really?
mistaken.
All right.
Ricardo,
That was my
yes.
prime
Okay.
time. So
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
into Jonathan Frakes.
I
Long
missed
time.
out on like a certain primetime show like X-Files, Twin Peaks. I missed out on a lot of stuff.
Sure.
But I
Oh,
did
not more
consume a
than
lot of
me.
TV. I consumed a lot of TV.
Apparently, I feel very left out. But honestly, I don't watch a lot of TV. Like some days, 0 minutes today, maybe 60 minutes, one episode a day of something, maybe.
You had to make your own TiVo because you had the competing. You had ABC running their primetime shit, and then you had like Fox was like the new guy in town, right? They had The Simpsons, Married with Children, and then you had all these networks, and you had to like record. You had to record on your VCR one of the channels so you can watch one live. So you had to pay. You had to hopefully record the good one because then that way you could rewind things. You know. You're like, oh, that was a good one. Yeah, or if someone missed it, you're like, dude, did you record yesterday's? And you're like, dude, I almost taped over it tonight, but I'll save it for you, bud.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah. And you just had to
when
hope
Pokemon moved to Saturday mornings, like in the early morning, I was like, screw this. I'm just setting up a timer now.
The best thing, Dan,
when I wake up.
Best thing, Dan, right, was when they invented like the VCR got smart enough where you could put a timer on the VCR. Oh yeah. Like 7 a.m. record, baby, and you go to sleep and you wake up at 10 and you're like, it's recorded.
Until the goddamn Dodgers messed up the schedule.
well, it's not their fault, dude.
Remember when Pokemon was airing on both KTLA 5, but then also KCAL 9? I was like, that's crazy. How could a cartoon be airing on two competing stations? That's crazy.
I guess it was just an overlapping contract.
Are you sure it wasn't KCAL 9 and CBS?
No, it was. So it's always aired on WB. Like KTLA 5, but then it also aired on KCAL 9. And later I would figure out it was it was just because it's an anime, so it's just like licensed. So KCAL 9 happened to also get a license, so that's why.
Back then
they moved from KCAL 9 to Kids WB. Kids WB became the new home of Pokemon, and they made a big deal out of it.
Yeah, they made a big thing out of it. Yeah.
Also for certain shows take for instance like 2.5 Men. It's produced by Warner Brothers, but it's released by CBS. And sometimes shows have special like licensing like that, where like it's like, well, you'll run the original show, but then we get to run the rerun, a few weeks later. I don't know if it's done nowadays because of streaming, but it used to be done way back in the day more often.
Well, before we get deep into second chances, there's a lot to get deep in there about. Yeah, we should go through our sponsors really quick. First of which, this week we're gonna start with Extra. Because Extra's coming out with their new wallet. Not coming out, they already came out with their new Wallet Pro.
Congratulations, Extra.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think Extra for the Wallet Pro also came out with let me double check because I'm not 100% sure if that still happened.
You know what? While you're looking at that, shout out to the listener that made that condom holder, dude, for his Extra wallet.
That's
a baller move, dude.
That's amazing.
That's a nice flex.
So for Earth Day, Extra decided to make one of their Wallet Pros lines. They make it out of apple leather, so it's like a.
I was thinking it was wood, and I was like, I'm interested in that.
Wait, made from the real dried skin of apples?
Yeah.
So there's a way.
Skin Thursday.
There is a way to make like a sustainable leather out of apples. So that's cool. What they use.
What about kiwi skins?
What about skin Thursdays?
Yeah.
You get a really hairy wallet.
Yeah, dude. You put your hand in there, you're like, is that my leg or is that the kiwi skin?
But Extra, they got a lot of cool different types of wallets. So the Wallet Pro's their newest one.
They should call it the Power Sauce wallet.
Yeah. It's basically their upgrade of their original Parliament wallet, which you're now just calling the Extra wallet. They're rebranding things.
If you scratch it, is it like a scratch and sniff where like you revive the apple?
It shouldn't be. And I think an apple leather like is actually like really tough. So I think it's actually difficult to mar up compared to regular. I could be wrong.
Oh, so they take after the company.
But my God, dude. You know what? I'm done, dude.
What? They're tough.
Yeah,
they'll go down without a fight.
I'm out, dude.
But yeah, they have the Extra Wallet Pro, but they also have like their Card Holder Pro. They have other things like their duffel bags for their grid line, their grid backpack, weekend bag, keychain, key fob, all sorts of cool everyday carry things. And if you head on over to extra.com, that's EKSTER.com, and use our offer code Newbie when you check out, you'll get an additional discount off any order site-wide. I think they've actually, for us, locked down that discount to an additional 10% every time. So I think cool. I'm not going to put down the record for sure, but I believe no matter what, now you always get a 10% discount. And it's an additional discount because it always stacks with any ongoing sales to be transparent, right now, Extra has openly said, we're probably not going to do any sales for a while because these tariffs are kind of messing us up.
Fuck.
But
makes sense.
That offer code Newbie is still active, will likely remain active. So you can always at least get that 10% off whenever you check out. And even with the tariffs and all that stuff going on, it's still free shipping, free returns within 100 days of receiving your orders, and at least a 24-month warranty on all of their products. And in fact, the Cardholder Pro and the Wallet Pro have a lifetime warranty on them. So that's pretty neat. So again, you can head on over to extra.com, use offer code Newbie, and when you check out, you'll get an additional discount off of any order site-wide. And also, let's do House of Wise, because House of Wise is cool. They're cool because they're a woman-owned CBD and THCA brand that gives all sorts of products like gummies and chocolates and candies and pre-rolls. I, as Sarah knows, have been using their sleep gummies.
Yeah, she knows, dude.
I've been
finish
using
your sentence.
I've been using their sleep gummies for quite a while now. Dude. I need sleep. Yeah.
It definitely works.
Wait. Do you pretend to sleep and then like there's weird things happening, dude?
What
Never mind.
Talking about what? Are you talking about?
Paranormal activity?
Yeah.
like freaky links.
Like creepy clicks?
He stays asleep very long.
Yeah, creepy clicks, dude.
Like shady sites?
Shady Sites would have been a good third rival.
Yeah, that would have been like the second season kicker.
Yeah. But anyway,
you fools, I was holding it back. Shady Sites.
You can check out all the products they have if you go to houseofwise.co/newbie Star Trek with Newbie Star Trek in all caps. You can check out all the stuff they have. They have so they have these. So you can't ship marijuana per se across borders, state borders, but you can apparently.
Marvin, this is bullshit, dude. You know what, dude?
Well, it's
what the fuck are we doing, dude?
But the thing is, you can ship THCA, which apparently is not federally regulated in that way. But the moment you light it, it turns into marijuana, basically. I think that's how it works.
I'm tired of this shit, dude. I'm tired of fucking Uncle Sam with his goddamn fucking orange hair telling me what I can't smoke, dude.
It's just like in Prohibition where it's like, I can't sell you wine, but I can sell you this jug, this yeast, this
Yeah, exactly.
I can sell you all of these things, and what you do with them is your business.
Yeah. So you can.
I knew a guy when I was younger. He went to juvie and he tried to make prison wine, and he got really fucked up mentally, dude. He didn't come back the same way, dude. Yeah, he was in a coma for a couple of months.
Oh my god!
No. How much?
Don't do it that way.
Don't make wine that way, dude. Just buy your weed from House of Wise. Don't try to make it in prison fucking weed, dude.
Yeah, don't do it. Just go to House of
prison weed.
Don't make prison weed. Head on over to House of Wise.
What did they call it again? I forgot what they called it.
Pruno.
Marvin. No, the wine that they make from the fermented.
Pruno.
Is that what it's called?
Prison wine is called Pruno. Yeah,
prison wine is Pruno.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, you can head on over to houseofwise.co/newbie Star Trek and use our promo code Newbie Star Trek, and you get 10% off your entire order. And also, you get free shipping off of any order over $69. So again, head on over to houseofwise.co/Newbie Star Trek, Newbie Star Trek in all caps, and use our promo code Newbie Star Trek for 10% off your entire order. All right. Now we can see the saga of two Rikers.
Ricardo, could you please tell us what happened in this episode?
Hell yeah.
Oh, Hooch. That's the other one. Sorry, Hooch.
That's the old term, Sarah. That's like
is that the
1930s?
Old term?
Yeah, see, I'm going to make some hooch.
But was that specifically in prison, though? I thought hooch was just general.
Hooch is a term for any bootleg alcohol.
Hooch is more like a moonshine type of thing.
Oh, weird. Because we watched that prison show, Marvin, recently, and they all refer to it as Hooch. So
what prison show? Prison Break?
No, it was like this reality show where they were like,
Teabag?
What happens if we were
to jerking suds on the side?
Yeah, like if we were able to get rid of, not keep people locked up, like they can just be open, like you're still in jail, but you're not in your cell. You can
the way
have
you're
you can come and
describing
go.
it makes it sound like complete nonsense.
Free range.
What do you mean?
Yeah, it does, dude. Free range.
I'm not talking, you remember the show. You remember the show.
I know, but like you're describing it from the context of everyone knows what's going on, and you're like, yeah, everyone walks around and they're free, and you're like, isn't this a show about jail? What are you talking about?
Well, they're not free. They're free in the sense that they don't have to sleep in a cell. You know, and so they talked about making hooch, and that's where I,
Okay, the premise of the show is that everyone in this prison is usually in solitary 23 hours a day.
Yes, it was 23-1. Yeah.
Yeah. So then the warden comes in and said, I want to make this a more progressive prison. Everyone's allowed to have free time 24 hours a day. And let's see how that works out. And that's basically what is the premise of the show.
But you can't make hooch. So anyway.
Let me tell you. The continuing saga of my run for presidency.
Okay.
If I'm president, dude, if you're like a non-violent offender, we're going to take you out of prison and make you do some hard labor, dude. What I mean by hard
slavery.
labor is
it's kind of already happening.
If you have to go to the DMV, we're going to send a prisoner to wait in your stead.
That's still slavery.
We're gonna give them jobs so boring that they're like,
it's torture.
I'll never go to like I don't want to go to the DMV ever again.
That's slavery.
You have to go wait in the DMV.
Yeah.
Ricardo for slavery 2028.
You have to you have to make there's a list of appointments you have to call and make for people.
Yeah.
You have to be the one to call the doctor's office and wait for 4 hours to get
on hold. You have to call to get like cable set up and that's torture.
You got to call Time Warner Cable to change your fucking plan because they keep bumping it up every 12 months after you got to be the one
who waits at the home between the window of 4 a.m. and 8 p.m.
That's horrible. Yes.
So
you have to wait. Just an adult has to be home present.
It's all inconvenient tasks. But guess what? They get paid. They get paid for it too, though.
Yeah, just go ahead and pit the privatized industries against each other.
Exactly. like things you have to call a complaint about, like anything, like if you want to call about your fucking potholes on the highway in your fucking local city, they're gonna call for you. We're gonna turn the tables on the man, dude.
Yeah, they're gonna get inundated with calls.
I thought you said you're gonna make them fill the pothole, but instead they're gonna call the city to get someone to fill.
Just complain. Yeah, we're gonna turn these prisoners into Karens. Is what I'm saying, basically. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Basically, the prison becomes a phone center, like a call center.
I have one for New Orleans for sure. Why is every street light out all of a sudden? All of a sudden, there's no traffic lights anywhere. There's just all out. They're gone.
Yeah.
Well, we can call and complain about that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do. Here we go. This is what happens in this episode. First of all, Deanna is a goddamn idiot, dude. Because Riker's playing a goddamn concert, and she asked for like the hardest song ever that she knows he can play, and he even looks at her like, "You stupid bitch."
That's a pretty dick move of her to do.
It's really mean.
It's not cute.
Okay, the thing is.
It's so mean.
Yeah, because Beverly's next to her is like, what was that all about? Why is he acting like that?
Deanna's like excitedly telling her like, you can't do the fucking song.
Yeah, Will's been trying to get this right for 10 years. And then Beverly, I think she's sitting next to her and you see thoughts going through her mind of like, wow, Deanna's a huge dick. Why is she doing that?
Wow, I didn't know she was chill like that.
I wanted to pull a clip from It's Always Sunny. It's Dennis and he's talking to D and he's like, D, you stupid bitch. But here's the thing. She's horrible, dude, for that. That's such a dick move.
I don't understand what the general sentiment of that scene is supposed to be. Is she just trying to, is it supposed to be like a cute ribbing? Or is
I think it was that qualified as cute ribbing in that.
But people are there to watch him.
Yeah, and he's clearly like kind of embarrassed. He's kind of like, oh,
and upset.
hey.
He was definitely angry, dude.
Yeah, I think he's like, man, I think I'm gonna be like embarrassed on stage tonight. You know, like it's kind of fucked up.
before we got the context and he like ignored her and iced her out the first time she asked, I was kind of like, ooh, what's that response about? But then when she clarifies that she asked him to play a song that he is having a really hard time with, I was like, oh wait, never mind. She's the dick. Like, yeah, because I was like, why is he ignoring her? And he's like, oh, anyone else? I was like, oh, he's like DJ request doesn't take any requests. That's like, is that Key and Peele spot where he's just like, that's what I was reminded of when DJ request doesn't take any requests.
I haven't even seen the sketch, but that concept alone makes me laugh.
Well, Key and Peele did it, and I highly recommend that sketch. It's amazing.
They're here at this bar. They're wearing clothes I've never seen them wear leisurely ever.
It's a sexy silk shirt he's wearing.
It's like someone said, tonight's theme, what you think 1980s Miami's like. And they're like, you got it, dude.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's that shirt.
I kind of love it.
The guy playing the piano, I like that shirt he's wearing. It's pretty cool.
Oh, and later on in the episode, there's like this green outfit. This server pops onto the screen, and I'm just like, whoa! Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We are number one. Looks like that guy.
Yeah.
It feels like they're like, hey, let's all dress like the Miami Sound Machine with Gloria Estefan.
I love it.
And then the thing is, like, is this the theme night? Seriously? Because I've never seen them wear this. What's so crazy is that they're still wearing their comm badges with their leisure wear. Like, it's like...
That's true. Yeah.
Well, you're always on call, right?
Yeah.
Are you, though?
Yeah,
I guess.
clearly Riker fucking got him in lunch in the middle of a set.
Jump out of there.
I've seen them. I don't know. I guess you're right.
So like, if you're a commander or an officer of a certain rank, you're always on call. So basically what happens is you have your shifts.
Cops. Like cops have to like roll with a gun even when they're off duty.
Yeah. And also like, you know that I have a certain shift. I work maybe like 4 to 12 or something.
6 to 9.
But any other time I can still be called in order because of emergency or duty calls or something. So
yeah, you gotta go poop.
Yes. I mean, that's a problem because sometimes, they're using the bathroom and he's like,
What do? You just ask, what's his name? Not MacGyver. What's his name? O'Brien. You're like, hey, take the poop out of my body.
Someone wrote in our comments. So like someone said, so I have been on a Navy ship where I am on call. And I think someone had brought up, what do you do if you're in the pooper when you get on call? And you finish up quick.
Really?
You basically
what if you eat like cheese that day?
No, you're fucked. You just gotta finish up quick.
What if you have diarrhea that day?
You finish up quick.
I know, but like you just shit your pants, you know?
Yeah,
maybe.
Shit your pants. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But then that's a punishment. That's a punishment for like your coworkers because they got to smell your shitty fucking pants, dude.
It's an emergency.
So what's important of this? So Riker was here and then he left right back in the day in the ship, the Minerva, or what's it called? The ship, the Potemkin.
The Potemkin. Yes.
Yeah. So this had happened years ago, and they're going back to get some like data, right, to this planet.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the other thing. So
confusing as shit, dude.
This database is extremely important. Like Picard is willing to risk people's lives, in order to get this database, but they never explain what it is. Did they explain it?
Well, the closest they get is it's that after a certain amount of these like intervals where they're able to go down and come back, there is going to be an 8-year gap in which they can't go down at all.
But why is the information important?
That's the part that they don't explain.
What's the data? Why is this database so fucking important? They
introduced a time crunch to help sell this, is what I'm saying.
He's like, Riker's like, I saved all my boner jams in this hard drive and it's down there. I never got it.
I've been talking Picard up about it, and
he's like, I've been telling him for years about freaky links, and
never been the same.
Freaky links and creepy clicks, and
I had my torrent of freaky links still going this whole time, and I'd like to finally collect.
Yeah. I have a hard drive full of fucking Bitcoin that I got to get out of it.
Maybe it's a Bitcoin wallet that he's like, I accidentally left there 8 years ago.
Yeah, and he's like, it's worth billions now, dude. Yeah.
Man, there are probably a few, like so many of those like lost wallets that are actually
absolutely
valuable now.
The guy who has the very first Bitcoin can't remember his password. So
yeah. He's gotta just keep it in the hard drive. Okay, here's the thing. Mm-hmm. They go down there and they send their best, the best of the best, as always. Mm-hmm. The people they can't afford to lose, they send down there to lose.
Yeah, perfect.
And then they're like, oh, we got to get out of there because it's fucking thing. And then they're like, something's coming. You think like, oh, it's an alien, dude, because it's close. It's a humanoid.
Yeah.
And then, bam, it's Riker a second Riker with parted hair instead of slicked back.
Yeah.
Slightly parted to the side.
Yeah.
But he's a lot more like rugged looking.
But his beard's better groomed.
Yeah, it's more filled in. His beard's more filled in. He has more beard. Yeah, essentially.
They should have just straight up they should have given him like a goatee or something. Like he looks like a cholo, dude. Like Edward James Olmos in American Me, you know?
I mean, he must be very good at cutting his own hair.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a sharp haircut.
I think what they should have done in order to, but I don't think they could for logistical reasons, is that like the Thomas Riker should have been clean shaven, because when Riker first showed up in TNG, he didn't have a beard. So it would have made sense that he kept up with like keeping his beard shaven.
You think for 8 years he kept up with a fucking beard, dude?
I think he might have, you know, like
I would have gone the opposite. He has long hair and he's a hippie.
There's enough explanation. There's enough room for everything to wiggle around, but it would have been cool to see a visual difference.
That's too much. We're asking too much of them right now.
Yeah, I think the main reason why they can't is that like then the next episode's like, well, Riker has a beard. Now he's clean shaven, the actor. What do we do? And you know, so you can't
what about what's the rules about having long hair if you're an officer?
They don't have a big rule about. I mean, like Worf has a long.
It's either no hair or short hair. Okay, that's about it. Just kidding.
Like you rock in like the Eddie Vedder hair, like her. Worf
kind of has long hair.
Yeah, he has a ponytail.
Yeah,
currently has a big ponytail.
He's
kind of like the Worfian Denny
Deanna does.
You know.
Yeah, so like, Beverly is a ranking officer and she has long hair.
I was talking about dudes with long hair.
I know, but like, I think, you know, they would have same hair requirements, I would imagine. So
same rules.
As long as you groom yourself appropriately.
Yeah.
You just gotta look clean.
I don't know. It is interesting. I think yellow shirt Riker is slightly hotter to me. I don't know why.
And his shirt is ripped too.
Yeah, it's hot.
How did he get a haircut, but he can't replicate? Oh, because I guess he said the replicator's broken.
He can't get his clothing. Okay.
Yeah, the replicators are broken.
His clothing is like a mismatch. Like he's got like a yellow shirt, but also he's got like a
sweater underneath of some kind.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta just make it work, dude.
Are they suggesting that he stole a sleeve from another uniform and
Also, if you notice, it's the yellow. It's the uniform from the first season where they don't have the collar. So they actually bothered to go back and actually get a uniform that matches the older uniforms. So
they're trying.
They're trying to keep some continuity.
But yeah, he's like perfectly. It's weird. His clothes are like pretty distressed looking, but he's pretty well groomed. His beard is pretty.
Well, yeah, dude. Because he's got 8 hours a day to just groom himself.
I guess I don't know if they have like razors or what.
It's also where Hollywood was at the time. Like
they
never concerned themselves with that sort of realism.
Then.
And also the hairstylist here could only do 2 hairs. It's like this or cholo hair. You pick, dude. And they're like, I don't want it slick back.
They're like, we can't do it all. Okay.
Yeah. He's like,
Data's cholo hair.
This year we've gone past our budget in 3-flower pomade.
But also, even to this day, like. Even men who are supposed to be like rugged and like living tough still look like very beautiful on camera. Like look at fucking The Last of Us and look at Joel. He looks beautiful despite the fact he's living in the post-apocalypse. You know, like they don't really like everyone looks very well kept still.
I mean, they could have put like a toupee on him maybe to make him a little more like a hairpiece on Yellow Jacket.
Toupee? But he's not losing hair.
No, but like a hair piece to kind of like a hair piece, an addition, extension of some kind to make Thomas Yellow Jacket.
Give him more of a Robin Williams from Jumanji.
Yeah, to like make it a little different, you know.
Give him like a big bushy beard as well, you know.
Give him a Predator like haircut where he's got dreads.
Make him like Tom Hanks from Castaway, you know. Where he's just
Could they make him more buff too? Like I imagine he has more time to work out. He's just like a super buff. Like rips, like
Sarah,
Riker.
He's filming these scenes back to back. How are they going to do? How is he going to work out and then lose?
Sarah's just trying to create her ideal visual. Jonathan Frakes. Now
they can do it. I know they have little suits that you can paint on some abs or something.
What you need
or
now,
pieces and
Sarah,
whatnot.
is a holodeck.
Yeah,
you need a holodeck
or AI to do this for you.
I think it would be interesting to be faced with someone who is like a buffer, like. Stronger version of yourself. You're kind of like, oh, okay, like is this what could have been? You know, like I don't know.
I should have been spending all this time working out instead of being Starfleet.
Is this how hot I could have looked?
Yeah,
Damn.
I shouldn't have been watching fucking Step by Step on fucking
God
Fridays.
damn it.
That reminds me of
Potential.
like this Plague of Gripes tweet or post. I don't know which social media it comes from, where it's like the ghost, like yourself and a ghost appear before you, and the spirit says, "And this is how you would be." And and the other you is like, "Oh, please, no more! Don't show me anymore." And they both disappear, and it's just you like left.
Oh my God.
You know, knowing that you were the example used to set another you straight.
Wow.
Yeah. I could live with that. I could be the bad choices that I made.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They go back and there's two of them now. And
Yes.
they explain very stupidly that the fucking Mercury was in retrograde when they tried to beam him up and it bounced off the thing.
Yeah.
And it made
There's
a
a nice
second
visual.
fucking,
Mhm.
yeah, it was the Mercury was in retrograde. It bounced off of Mercury and made a secondary Riker. So there's two Rikers. Two Rikers don't make a right.
Yeah. That's another potential title for the episode. Two Rikers
I love
don't
that.
make a right.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's such
Or
a missed
double impact.
opportunity. Yeah.
Or I'm
Missed
seeing a
opportunity.
double. 4 Rikers.
or because they go and team up, double team.
Oh, but they hate each other though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but at the end they work together. He saves them, dude. At the end,
That's true. Yeah.
they're pals.
Spoilers.
He gives them a gift, dude. So okay, so then they bring him back, and Beverly's like, "Dude, this is fucking Riker, dude. This is." And then so they figure out the whole timey-wimey fucking like one of them's got stuck there, and one of them went on, and like
Mhm.
you know. Fucked,
Beverly's like, through
yeah.
bullshit, we can explain that he's not a clone.
Yeah.
Because
It's literally
No
a
genetic
double,
drift.
a double. Yeah, literally the same person. So then they're like, but Picard's like, yeah, that's interesting. This is very cool. But what about the fucking freaky links down there, dude? We need to get the fucking freaky links. And they're obsessed with the fucking data, dude.
yeah,
I don't know why,
Picard's
dude.
really like focused on like, but can we
Yeah.
get the database? Can we ask him
Yeah.
to get the database?
He's
Can we
like,
help?
have you guys talked to him about the database? It's like,
Even though he has just been, we have just freed him from being trapped on this planet for 8 years. Can we ask him about getting
Yeah.
the database?
and then
Let's
he
just
sees
assume that this is a huge Starfleet cover-up that Picard has been charged with.
and
I mean,
Deanna.
It's the evidence that he killed
Oh,
Beverly's husband, Jack
Yes.
Crusher.
Oh, there you go.
it's the freaky
Yeah.
links, the original freaky links, dude.
Uh-huh.
And then Deanna's like, "Oh, I'll go talk to him. I volunteer as tribute." Of course, she just
Yeah.
wants to fuck him, dude. And then so she shows up, and of course he's like, "Oh, caramia," and starts.
Yeah, she doesn't
kissing
want to
on
fuck
her.
him yet. This
Yeah.
time she's like, I'm here to shut this down.
No,
Yeah.
she went with it, dude. She like he was all up on her, and she just let it happen, dude. She let him kiss her all over.
Only until the commercial break goes over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was a trickery with a
I
commercial.
mean, I think she
Because
wanted
it was
to.
a commercial break. They had to trick you.
I think
Yeah.
she was curious to see how it would go alone. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know, what
that's
if we were to
true.
have a
That's
little
true.
one-on-one? How would this work out?
So basically,
Yeah.
he's like, so what happened? Like, did we fucking Ryza?
Yeah.
What happened, dude? Did we have a bunch of kids?
Yeah.
What's going on?
She basically
dude?
does the thing where it
Yeah.
happens in fucking Attack of the Clones, where Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen make out, and suddenly Natalie Portman goes, "No, can't do this."
Yeah, he was like, Padme.
Padme, I'm becoming Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Oh, why did you come for me?
Yeah.
I don't understand these references.
Do you not like Star
That's
Wars?
not even a reference.
Yeah,
That's
do you
I
just like
don't. I
vulgar.
really haven't watched Star Wars very much.
What about the Dark Knight?
I've seen The Dark Knight.
What about the mashup Dark
once
Knight
of
and
them.
Revenge of the Sith?
I think I saw them very long time ago, so I don't.
God damn
maybe
it,
just
dude.
once.
Sarah,
So
That's
Yeah, I'm
fine.
the worst.
they got to put it on
No-
TikTok so you can watch it.
Nobody needs to have seen
Yeah.
those movies.
I'm the
It's
worst
fine.
movie working industry person ever. Movie worker.
The worst movie industry working
Man,
person.
I could totally see Gary Oldman with glasses in Obi-Wan's getup.
Oh
Dude,
yeah,
Gary
So,
Oldman would be
yeah.
a
I'm
great
sorry.
Jedi, dude. Yeah.
yeah.
For everything.
He's
Yeah, yeah.
they're who do we send? Everyone.
He could have made that same speech
Yeah.
on top of the Mustafar volcano side, where he's like, "I'm sorry for everything, Annie," as he's
Yeah.
pulling up his,
Annie. He's the hero we need, but not the one we deserve. And then he's speaking with the Rastafarian accent, like in True Romance, you know?
No.
Yes,
Oh,
dude.
no.
Come on, dude.
Oh, no.
All
We
right,
already have one racist Rastafarian accent in Star Wars. We don't need more than one.
2, dude. Come on, dude. 2 for 1.
There's more.
Yeah.
Yes,
Riker,
there is.
So
Yes, I know
the
that.
next day, Picard's like, we gotta get these goddamn WikiLeaks, dude, because I'm gonna get fucking pinched. I'm gonna go to jail, dude, if you don't get these things. And Riker's like, I got it. Dude.
Oh, wait, we're at WikiLeaks now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Peaky Blinder links, or what are they called?
Yeah, Peaky Blinders.
WikiLinks.
Yeah. So then they like get an old Riker to fucking help you. Like, all right. So
Yeah.
they're waiting in the transport room, and he's fucking late, and they're like, fucking page this guy, dude. Fucking Johnny come lately over here. And by the way, for no reason, Riker fucking hates him.
Yeah.
For no reason.
The entire
A dick,
episode,
dude.
he is extremely angry
Okay.
Yeah.
at Thomas.
I feel like
He's really put out.
I feel like I'm the most qualified person to discuss dealing
I
with
disagree.
someone who is maybe considered like a twin and having to work with them and be around them. I feel like I'm the most qualified of the bunch to do so.
But you're
due to me having
born into it, though.
Yeah. You
But
didn't come
you
into it
guys
late.
don't know what it's like maybe to face
Sarah,
somebody.
here's the thing. But
that
you've had
exactly like
you've had your whole life to get used to that. Imagine
right, but it never gets easier, right? It never gets easier.
understand.
Sometimes
I understand.
working, it's
Are
rough.
you saying
It's
that you're
rough.
this angry and rude to your sister at all
I
times?
can be. I absolutely can be. 110%.
well, for what reason? For what reason?
Because she looks like me, and I don't. We don't. We're just. You see yourself in the other person. And you're like, fuck. Like, just fucking do better. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
For context, everyone, she's a triplet. That's why
Okay.
she's able to.
Okay.
Not everyone
Okay.
knows that. That's why.
So for context, then why are you wishing your best friend a happy birthday on your birthday? Were you lying then? Were you lying?
She's my best friend, but it's like, you know how you
So
like
you're lying. One of these is a lie. Which one is it, Sarah?
you can hate yourself too. You know, it's fine. It's like looking in a mirror sometimes, and you can like see what this person is capable of, and sometimes I can see he's looking at himself and he's just like, you can do better, or you can do this, or you can, like, I'm frustrated with the way you're thinking, or this or that, or like, it's just like
you're just
sometimes you feel that way
concepts.
towards but I have experience with it, like
But that's
literally, like
another
I know
person.
someone
that's
so
you're talking about self-esteem
intimately.
now, and not another person.
I don't know. I just felt like I could, or even if I was put in the scenario where like maybe I was dealing with a double of me, like I feel like I wouldn't be easy to deal with. So why would I be easy to deal with myself? Like I wouldn't be easy to deal with myself.
Because then this person would think exactly like me. That's the thing, that it's not a twin.
No, but they're not exactly the same. This is the whole nature versus nurture thing, right? They're kind of different.
That's true. Yeah.
They're kind of different, but they're not.
Yeah.
Because Riker still went, but he still left Deanna.
That's true.
He still did the same exact thing.
But they are, I mean, me and Marvin were kind of talking about this a little bit too, is like, this brings up the whole, like, the nature versus nurture. Like, are you the defining thing of your experience, the sum of your experiences? Is that defines who you are and what you're going to do and the way you think and things like that? Or is it really just something that you can't change and they're like born into you? You're just born as this person and you're always going to make those decisions.
Here's the difference between that argument,
no matter what,
and
not enough data
in this scenario. That you're describing twins. You keep describing twins when this is not even a clone.
It's as close
this is an exact
as we
replica.
can get.
This is an adult replica. This is not like they cloned him at birth. No, this is like at 32 or how old he is, he was split. So he only has 8 years of a difference. And at the end, he still did the same thing, which is to leave Deanna. But they're not twins. They're the exact same people.
Technically,
with
Deanna
the exact
left
same personality.
him.
Both, whatever you want to say.
Deanna left him.
Isn't it technically that he left Deanna because he said
he couldn't stay there? There was no way for him to stay there. He didn't have the priority.
He left her.
Oh no!
He had to go.
I thought you meant in the original scenario.
No.
Sorry.
I meant Thomas. Thomas literally was like, I literally can't stay here. Like he was like, I don't have a choice. Like they're gonna fucking kick me off. Like I can't.
That's not what they said. They didn't say they would kick him off.
But you all know that like he can't stay there. Like it's not an option for him.
It's too expensive.
Yeah.
Well,
too many special effect shots
for him not staying there. It was more of an emotional thing. But
no, wait, I don't know if they would let two Rikers stay. I don't know if Riker Will Riker
I didn't get
would
that
let
feeling
Thomas
at all.
Riker.
Yeah, I didn't get that feeling at all.
No, but I feel like it. I got that feeling. I just think it would make things very complicated.
Yeah, but okay. I don't want to discount. So that's what you're feeling. But what the facts are is that no one actually kicked him out. He actually left Deanna purposely.
It's clear that Will Riker is not happy with him around. He's not enjoying him being there. You know,
by the end, he saves him, and like they become pals at the end.
Well, saving someone is different than also giving them a goodbye gift when you know they're leaving. I just feel like Will Riker and Thomas Riker were not, exactly on the same page, and that's okay. It just means that the situation was not ideal.
I don't think anyone was forcing him to leave.
Yeah,
I think it was more of like they're both Will and Thomas are uncomfortable. But I have a feeling that if you asked like a crew member, like I'm pretty sure like if you asked Deanna or Beverly, they'd be like, guys, get over it, you fucking babies. Yeah. Like I think
also the ship is so big, like they could never, and also they're different ranks. Like they could actually be in the same ship and never be in the same room.
I think what would have happened is Picard, if they asked Picard, like, okay, how do we resolve this? I think Picard probably would have given him some options. I think he'd probably been like,
he's like, shave. One of you shave.
At the least.
I think he probably would have been like, okay, so obviously you're a different Riker and with a different rank, different set of experiences. You are not qualified to be a commander, same level as Will is. Maybe you could join the crew, but he also clearly gave him the option to join the Gandhi. So like he brought that up himself. But I'm imagining there could also be a scenario where Thomas Riker goes, you know what? Having gone through all this, I don't know if I want to be in Starfleet anymore.
Yeah,
and there could have been an option.
He lost 8 years. He might want to go and like walk the earth.
Yeah, maybe Picard in that regard, Picard would have been like, sure, you can hang out on the ship until then, and then we'll drop you off wherever you want.
Maybe I think that's possible, but I also think it's possible that Will Riker had seniority on this particular ship, and while it may have not been spoken, it would have been a very uncomfortable existence where you're kind of like, well, this is not really for me, and I need to realize that maybe I need to forge a new life elsewhere.
But no one told him to go.
I'm not saying no one said that either, but I'm just saying like that's a reading you can get from. No one asked him to stay either. You know what I mean? Like no one was like, "Hey, yeah, man, you can stay. We can find you a job here." And it's like, no, it's kind of like this. Like it's this.
I feel like when it comes down to it, I feel like the issue was, this is a weird scenario. Right.
If I were Thomas, I wouldn't want to stick around.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's basically what it comes down to. I don't think I would want to stick around because I'm surrounded by people who have interacted with me who isn't me.
Yep.
And I would have to contend with not me all the time.
Yep.
100%.
He doesn't know Worf. He doesn't know like Data. He doesn't know any of them. And also he has these feelings like this part we skipped, which is basically like he survived all these years. Alone. Because this is exactly like Interstellar. He survived all these years because of love, dude. Because he was like, I'm holding on to the fact that I love this woman and I'm going to go back and hopefully she's still there. And guess what? She was still there and she was still kind of into Riker in a weird way, but
she doesn't want to be hurt again. Yeah. She does not want to be hurt again.
Yeah. And also to be fair, like he lost 8 years. Like who knows what he wants to do? Does he want to still, like you said, does he still want to be in Starfleet? Does he want to go explore? But also just the fact that you're like, oh wow, like this is a weird scenario. Maybe this guy's got like, it seems like this guy has like what I would have eventually done. You know what I mean? And he's not no more happier than I am now. So maybe I try something else, which is what I got out of it. Like. That's what I would have gotten out of it as if I was in the situation. Like, oh, this guy tried this. Why don't I try something different? Because this guy already tried this. He's like a
despite that
career
though,
commander.
But despite that, he is doing exactly what Riker's doing just later.
True.
Yeah. So I think,
and he could have said, well, I'll stay here for you and I'll follow you. I'll be a civilian, but I'm in love with you and I'll stay with you here as a civilian. And he could have said that, but he chose
then
to leave
I
her.
can imagine. But then I can imagine like a counter writing point where Deanna would then they would probably write Deanna to say, actually, Thomas, I do not want that for you. I know that what's in your heart is you want to pursue a career in Starfleet. I don't want you to give that up for me. So there's all sorts of things they could have done to like further write. But I think you get to the general point without having to get that complex, which is just that he is still fundamentally Riker. And he even says it in that little like later they have that little scavenger hunt thing, right? Where like he goes, I put it's funny. One of the lines in the scavenger hunt is, I am the thing that throbs in the night. I was like, oh, okay. He's clearly
interesting wording.
But then what that ends up is he just ends up having a talk with her at 10 forward. That's really all it was really for. And then to show her the painting he made out of not a painting, he made
like an engraving or
he made an engraving using a phaser, which is pretty cool. But in that talk with her, he then tells her, I feel like I'm really set back. Like because she mentions, I'm glad you don't feel set back. And he goes, actually, I do feel set back. Feel like my career hasn't advanced the way I want. So he's still, after all of that time, almost a decade.
You feel that?
yeah.
God damn it, Deanna.
And then they do Tai Chi and then they end up hooking up.
Right.
That was crazy. It was wild. I kept thinking like anybody can walk in on
before that. Beverly is like, well, you should sleep with one, or you should sleep with Riker. I did.
Basically.
Riker. And Beverly was like, just go for it. Just fuck him. Why don't you just fuck him?
After she hooks up with him, she goes to see Riker, and he basically is like, you don't need my permission to hook up with Thomas. Like, it's like, like basically like, I don't see why he would be jealous because it's him. I mean, it's just.
Well, she does have a good point where she's like, I know we've been seeing other people, but there must be some weirdness with the fact that
it's weird. I mean, let's not pretend that this is not a very bizarre, awkward situation to be in. Like,
I think it was a cool thing of her to do, to go to talk to Will and be like, okay, what do you think?
I'm not going to say anything more than this much, but I just want to ask you, Marvin, were you reminded of Severance at all?
Yeah. I mean, it is a lot like Severance.
We can't go into detail at all, but there's parallels to be drawn. There's parts of
Severance takes this concept to an extreme, I guess.
Yes,
but yeah. I think that's partially also why I think this episode in general is really fascinating, because it's like two completely legitimate. It's not they make a big deal out of saying they're both legitimate. They're both legitimate Rikers.
There's no real Riker.
Yeah, although one could argue that the one that was left on the planet is probably the real one, because that's the one that got left behind per se, and it's kind of like Will is the fake one because that's like the copy.
What are you talking about? The one got left behind, one made it. Like, which one's real?
But I do like that.
That's true. Like, really, the bounce back Riker could be the original Riker. We don't really know which one the original one is.
And they do make a point of saying it's not worth even trying to distinguish which one's real or not. They are both real. Yeah. So I do like that. I also
recall that the second Riker was created because that transporter guy was like, hey, I got an idea. I'm going to make a second whatever and like a containment something. Yeah. Yeah. And the Data has like a very like, basically Data says that seemed like a stupid idea. But basically, but instead in the show, he goes, that's an interesting strategy. And it's basically Data being like, that's a stupid idea. Why would you have done that?
and then they play poker with each other, and the Riker beats Thomas.
What a weird scene.
Yeah.
I just want to know what Thomas wanted before he walked into the door.
Yeah.
What was his intent before he sat down?
You think he wanted the trombone? He's like, let me get a crack at that trombone, dude.
I mean, it's a scene meant to like have each character kind of be like, you think you know me and you think you know what I'm thinking, but you really don't, and you can't read me. And, they have this kind of like play on, which I thought was an interesting way to kind of talk about it. That has like an action behind like an important scene of like painting that like you may think that these are exact clones of Riker, and they may think and feel the exact same way, make the facial expressions that each one would know. But this is kind of illustrating that like that's not the case in like a very visual way in a scene.
Yes.
Which I thought was nice. It was a way to like kind of like, instead of just like having a scene where they talk about it, like, you don't know me and I don't know you, and you think you know me and you think you know what I'm thinking and what I'm going to say, but you don't. Instead, they kind of made this scene to kind of illustrate that.
I do like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Like it's a quandary of, because he's at the end, basically Will kind of bullies him the entire poker game.
He beats the shit out of him.
And then Thomas at the end, he goes, you know what? Fuck this. You were always dealt the better hand anyway. And it's like leaves. I would have liked that they did show their hands to like get a sense of.
And Thomas had won.
Yeah, and maybe Thomas had won because Thomas was telling the truth and Will was lying, and maybe like, throughout the years, Will had become a more cynical Riker, was more willing to bluff. And Thomas is like more sincere as he's telling the truth,
You know what's so funny is that like Thomas Riker's like, we reconciled basically with her dad, and he's like, I have no interest in fucking talking to that bastard.
Yeah, that's interesting that his hate for his dad seems to have gotten worse over the years. Where he's just like, fuck him.
It's the same as ever. It's the same as it was at the beginning of that one episode where he showed up.
Where
they play
that is a good like detailed callback where he's just like, we're okay.
But
my dad
that just points to that they're two different people who have two different life experiences. Like it's that way because Thomas Riker has been on this station, whatever, for 8 years. So there hasn't been the same experiences as Will Riker to reconcile or go through everything. So
I just realized they could have done like a Homer Simpson style. So what have you been up to in the last 8 years? Well, I was mind controlled 3 times. I was tricked into being in a fake virtual reality twice. I was kidnapped a few times.
And then Data's like, you were loved up that one time though in that planet.
She basically, the alien lady basically coerced me into sex so I could escape from a prison.
And Data's like, and then you banged everybody in the
time
ship.
I went to space.
I vaporized a lady who was trying to assassinate someone in front of me when I could have just grabbed her. He's led I was trapped in a casino once.
A ghost casino.
I was trapped in a ghost casino.
And then Thomas is like, you were at one of Trump's casinos?
I once was in control of the Enterprise while the Borg took over our Captain Picard, and I actually took action that would have probably killed Picard had Picard not stopped me.
Yeah. He's like, and
lots happened. He's had a very crazy life.
We're still not sure that Picard is himself. Maybe he's part Borg still.
Yeah.
And then they go into the thing to retrieve the data links or whatever they're called.
Okay, the funny part before that, when they set up the mission, is that like Riker makes the call to say, actually, it's not worth going down to connect to this core. I'm just going to tell everyone it's too dangerous. And then Picard goes, can we really try? Can we really try to go into this core, please? It'd be really nice. And Riker's like, why did you tell him, Thomas, that there is a way to get there? You went behind my back to try to get this fucking date. Like Picard really wants this fucking database.
There's something sketchy going on about this data, dude.
Like Will tells him, this is too risky, Captain. I don't think we should do it. And then Picard basically goes, but what does the other Riker think? And then the other Riker tells him, there's a way to do it.
I'm starting to suspect that Thomas and Picard know something that we don't.
Yeah, dude. Exactly. It's probably their goddamn their signal chats where they leaked the fucking Yemen fucking things.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Signal
so they go into the
history.
thing. Yeah, they go in there and they're retrieving the signal chats, the wiki link chats. And Thomas is about to fall and die. And he's like, let go of me. One of us has to survive. And Riker's like, fuck you, dude. And he fucking saves them. And they finally have like a look like, yeah, of course I would never let myself die.
That's like a repeated beat between them, though. It's basically Will telling Thomas, stop being a little bitch.
Yeah.
Over and over again. Yeah.
Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it. Like he leaves. He's like, oh, I'm going to go over there and hang out with Gandhi and like go on hunger strikes and shit. And he's like, all right. And then he leaves. He does the exact same thing that Riker did, which is leave Deanna again. But this time she didn't fall for it completely. She just loved him up. And she's like, I'm going to stay at arm's length. And then
things are different for her too. I mean, she says, I have a career as well.
No, I get it. But he did. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that he ended up doing the exact same thing because it was in his nature. And he leaves her again. And then the Riker shows up and he's like, I'm never going to play the trombone again, especially because of this chick. She fucking tricks me into playing shitty songs, dude, that I don't know. And so she gives him, he gives him the trombone. He's like, you're the better man. And that's the end. And I'm telling you, dude, if we don't see Thomas again, dude, I'm going to be so fucking angry.
Well, I mean, what I really liked is that they could have, like, Sarah was even like calling it out, was like, oh, it seems like they're going to do the typical sitcom thing of they're going to reset back to zero by killing off Thomas in this episode so that there's only one Riker again. And they're going to be like, wow, what a shame that Thomas died.
Well, they keep setting it up so you think that they might,
because they keep saying these tunnels are really dangerous.
It's like
Thomas is gonna fall off this bridge. You know,
it felt like a hot tub time machine. You know how they in the future the guy's missing the arm and they go back and they're like, this is how he loses his arm, and it never happens that way.
Yeah.
You're like, this is where he dies, dude, and he doesn't.
Exactly. But they keep setting it up because you keep, as a watcher, you're like, there's no way they're gonna keep two Rikers on the show moving forward. Like, that's just not possible. What the fuck? So they're just gonna keep like setting up these little moments of like where he's gonna die or like he's something, they're gonna like kill him maybe. And there's a point where I was just like, maybe they're kind of like, should we just kill him or something? Or like, well, one of them's got to die, you know?
Yeah, Sarah was thinking like the part where Thomas is like falling off the lap of the
he just
the
like
bridge.
goes
Sarah
around
was
and like
like,
kicks him off.
Is Riker gonna kick him off?
Like fucking lanking?
Long live the king.
Well, there is a moment where he turns around and you're kind of like, oh, this is the moment he like steps on his hands and like he's like, get off, you know, and like no one's looking.
I thought for a brief moment Thomas was going to be like an evil one because like he goes on ahead,
an evil one,
and he's like, and he starts like acting a little funny in the core.
Yeah, he's like, oh, there's a lot of radiation over here, buddy.
Yeah,
and then but no, I think it worked out as the best it could have worked out because now you have. I mean, I don't know if they're ever going to bring this back, but now you could actually kill Riker and have him replaced by the old Riker.
It's true. So okay. So in this script, you do see all of the trademarks of they're gonna kill off Thomas, and that's because the original conceit of the script was that they were actually going to kill Will, and Thomas was going to replace him. That was the original idea. The idea was supposed to be that, oh shit, we're gonna do like a really big emotional character shakeup, but obviously without recasting Jonathan Frakes. So this was gonna be like their way of kind of like fucking up, shaking things up.
They're gonna Gamora him.
Yeah, the showrunners did not like that idea because they were like, well, the main reason is, and it kind of makes sense, during this period they were planning the TNG movies. So they were like, okay, it would be really weird to start off the TNG movies with this brand new fake second Riker that nobody knows and he has no context for anything. It would have been too much to like kind of explain.
Well, I get that.
To their credit, Michael Piller did suggest, hey, let's just keep both. So I think that was a pretty neat move.
He said best of both worlds.
Yeah. I think it is
Let's
also...
just keep both and we'll never bring fucking Thomas back ever again. We'll never mention him again.
I'll hold out for one more appearance.
You don't know. Yeah. But the other thing is that... The other thing, though, is that so they had to. Jonathan
in the
Frakes
future,
had to
Tom Hardy will play Riker.
Jonathan Frakes has to play different per Riker, and he does a really good job actually. Thomas does act very differently, actually.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
I like Thomas better. I 100% am Team Thomas. Like I
just because he's so romantic.
Thomas.
Yeah.
No, I like the way he
hasn't seen people for 8 years. Give him like 3 months. Give him 3 months, and he'll be exactly the same way the other. They're like, fuck, I'm tired of people, dude. I wish I was back in that fucking.
I mean, I just think he has a more interesting perspective on life. You know,
because he's a cave dweller.
No, I prefer him. I prefer the way he approaches things and his perspective.
He did the same thing though. He left Deanna. He approached it the same way as the old Riker.
Well, he said she can come be with him after 6 months.
That's what he said too.
That's what he told her last time.
Yeah, dude.
But they never played out this whole scenario. It could have been different. We don't know. We don't know that, right? Because the original Riker between her.
I guarantee nothing happens after 6 months because he's the same fucking Riker.
The original Riker and her, it deteriorated over time. They just stopped talking and it fell off. This Thomas, they didn't really give the chance. They just kind of,
if I recall correctly, the 6 month thing was only for members of family, which meant that she would need to marry him to qualify.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what he was saying.
She's not going to marry him.
He was saying that, all I'm saying is that he had a plan in the works. He was thinking about it actively, and that's already like 10 steps more in a direction.
He's older. He's not a commander. Like he's
also new and exciting.
Yeah, dude. Here's the thing.
I just think it's good. Anyone who's he's thinking about it, and that's more than.
You just want the newer.
So was the original.
You want the newer shiny version.
Will Riker was also thinking about it. He just as his career got more exciting.
But we don't know that with Thomas. We didn't get that opportunity. We didn't get to see that.
No, it's not that we didn't get the opportunity. It's just that we haven't seen it yet.
Yes.
Like it's not
I think this is simply a truism of life that potential is more attractive.
Yep.
Well, I just actually think the way, I just prefer the way Thomas thinks and talks about his perspective on life, especially when he was talking about what kept him alive
romantic
and
stuff.
Hold hope.
Yeah, romantic stuff.
Which is, that already made him more likable to me.
You don't know that Riker wasn't like that after he left. That he was like, "Oh, I want to see you, blah blah," and then just kind of the career got in the way. I don't know,
but that's why I do know that about Thomas. So
but he already prefer. He may be doing the same thing that the old Riker did, but just in a different timeline.
Maybe I'm just going on facts. So I'm just saying I prefer.
You just like this Riker because he hasn't disappointed you yet.
Yes, yet is the key word there.
Maybe yet, exactly. I mean, isn't that the basis for every relationship in humans' life? I mean, we're all just waiting to disappoint each other at some point. So
100%.
I think this goes back to the thing that we've talked about with Sarah before, though, is that when Sarah meets someone new, she starts off at 100.
Yeah, I don't like that.
She immediately goes, "Oh, you're a great person." Whereas, like, when I meet someone new,
that's why she bought that chair from that guy. She's like, "This guy's a fucking honest guy. I'm gonna buy this chair."
When I meet someone, I'm like, I have a neutral to maybe.
He's a chair guy. Why would he lie to me?
So it's like, I think
I see the good in people. Okay.
So Thomas is new. So Thomas starts off at 100, whereas Will has already disappointed Sarah many times.
Yeah, you're right, dude.
Yeah, exactly, which is why
I agree.
He hasn't had a chance to disappoint you yet.
He has not disappointed me yet.
Yeah, new people are clean.
I believe what he's saying when he says it, and
I'm quite the opposite.
New people are so clean.
Yeah. You started. It's not even zero. You started negative.
You have to climb your way out of a hole first.
Yeah. You got to pull yourself up from the bootstraps to get out of that hole.
No, but that's how honestly, that is how I approach life. Like everyone starts at maybe like 110, and then we kind of dial it back from there. So, and then we go from there.
We know that.
Tend to believe the best of people. At first.
This is why I remember when we were like, oh, in the post-apocalypse, I'm like, it's like when I talked to my old friend who was my old boss. I'm like, if the apocalypse comes, we're not friends anymore because I don't believe in your like post-apocalyptic way of living. Like
Ricardo's like, I will eat your cats. Okay.
Sarah would find that first cannibal family who's too nice and offers you everything. It's like, this is great.
Yeah.
Nothing bad can happen now. We're living with these nice people now.
They haven't disappointed me yet.
Yep.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, she's in fucking Valhalla with the shiny people.
Yep. That would be me. I'm not even denying I 100% would do this. I'd be like, oh, they're so kind. They are feeding me all this food.
I'd probably be on board too until something tasted funny.
Fatten me up to eat me later or something. I don't know. Like what's,
No,
they put me in a pot of boiling water. I don't know.
I live my life like a post-apocalyptic landscape.
And that's why you will probably survive and I will not, but that's okay. Cause we started watching Fallout today and I was like, I don't want to live in anything like this. I don't want to live in a world like this. I don't want to be in that.
That's
I don't want to be here.
You don't want to survive. You don't want to survive a nuclear attack.
Yeah.
Also,
no, I don't want to survive any. I have no will to survive in a world where like we have to like pooping tires and like, you know,
Pooping
everyone's
tires?
just kind of
What kind of Fallout?
What kind of world are you living
No,
in?
that's a Fallout. Yeah, and when they're at the
I
Brotherhood
don't
of
know.
Steel
I just
base.
watched
Yeah, I
the
guess
first
so.
episode
Yeah.
today, and like I don't know. I think you're
literally
like
poop
pooping
in
in
tires.
tires.
That's the
Yeah.
one thing she took away from it. She was like, I don't want to poop in tires.
No, she actually focused on that part. She's like, "Are they pooping in tires?" Yeah, yeah.
I
didn't
said I'm
even
done.
pick
I
up
was
on
like,
that detail when I saw
fucking
it.
kill
Yeah.
me.
She was
I
like,
remember
"Fuck
it now,
this.
but
I don't want
like,
to
it's
do
not one
that."
thing. It's not a thing that I was like, man, I couldn't live like this because of this pooping in
I
tires
can't
thing.
live like this. I can't.
Yeah, she was like
I
that
just can't.
combined with what was it? Oh yeah, the fucking of cousins. She was like, "Oh fuck
No,
this."
yeah, the cousin fucking,
Yeah.
where they were just kind of like, oh man, you know, you get practice on your cousin. And I was like, fucking kill me now, please, God. I was like, I don't want to live in a world where this is normal, and I don't want to poop in a tire, and I just don't want to do this. Just kill me. I told Myra, I was like, just fucking kill me. End it. Like, I don't want to live. I'm built for the soft life. I don't want like, you know, I don't want to struggle. I don't want to have to like fight for food. I'm good. Like, I'm okay. You can let me go.
You know what's so crazy is that like,
Fair.
You can let me go. You have my permission
the
to
wild
let me
part of
go,
it
please.
is that people live that way in certain parts of the world, but we get
Yeah.
to be privileged.
That's true. That's true.
And
Absolutely.
we don't live that way.
No,
So-
we're soft.
But this is another case of like, I don't know. I was born in the way that I was born. So like maybe if I didn't know anything else, it would be okay. But since I know something,
Which is what the
else,
people
I'm
in the world
okay
of Fallout
with it.
do. I mean, except the
Yeah.
ghoul. The ghoul knows what it's like before
But the
Fallout.
only
Yeah.
the only way I'm saying is
I
the
would be a
only way
ghoul.
I'm saying it's okay now to kill me is if we made a switch over. Like if I woke up tomorrow in Fallout, or even a month or a year from now in Fallout world, like yeah, I'm good. I don't want to participate in this. Like I don't want to live underground. I don't want to have to do all this. Like we're
Yeah.
good. If I was born into it, like I guess some of them were maybe generationally,
all of
then
them.
maybe it'd be
Pretty
fine,
much all of them
but-
except the ghoul were born into it. Yeah.
Yeah, the ghoul has a good life though, because he doesn't die. He's just a ghoul, you know.
Yeah, but he has no nose currently. and
I mean,
that kinda
that's
sucks.
probably because of the cocaine use.
We've only seen the one episode, but there's good examples of why he really hates it. But you know,
he have a
but
nose?
I'm saying like if he doesn't have to shit in tires, I bet you.
That's true.
Yeah, special
Yeah.
ghoul toilets.
yeah. Made out of gold with bidets.
See,
give me your ratings.
that's amazing.
Give me your
That's
ratings.
already
What
worth
is
it.
your ratings for the second
of this
chances?
episode?
Yeah.
It's gotta be 11, dude.
Oh
Wow.
shit!
I'm kidding, dude.
Charts.
'Cause it's, dude, I don't know.
'Cause it's
There was more confusion with the whole like. Here's the thing: if people start arguing with me that like that's not how the transporter works, I'm gonna lose my shit, dude. I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna start yelling at people. So
Were you just thinking the whole time like, wait, how did the transporter do this? Like the whole time you're just like, how did it make two? That's
well,
crazy.
no. What I was thinking is like I was right. It's
Yes,
two
that's
of you.
what I was gonna say.
It's
I was
two
like,
of you.
Ricardo's thinking.
Yeah.
He's like, I was right. That's
Well,
literally
we've
the
been
only thing he's
saying
thinking.
you're right the whole time. We never did. We never like.
I understood
No,
this.
we're
I
talking about other
understand it.
people.
you.
Other
I understand,
people.
but
Other people.
Other people
Yeah.
like are going to argue with us and be like, no, that's not really how it works. And like, it's like, no, you could always make duplicates. Like this proves that if Data figures it out, he can make another duplicate of anybody he wants, dude. As long as
Anything.
they've transported,
Yeah.
dude. So
Yeah.
they change things just like the Batman did in Dark Knight. You change things. And they can't go back, dude. You know what I mean? Marvin I love that joke. They can't go back, dude. Like they can't say like, oh, we can't do that. Like, no, dude, anybody that dies now, you can clone them.
Okay, but on that point that you're saying right now, actually, this makes me think: is this the first time that they've determined something like this has happened?
No,
and if
no,
so,
no. This happened like in season 1.
it like split off,
Or
kind of
like,
like this.
remember when they brought them back and then they're like, oh, we could
No.
just bring them back.
No,
and
but
then, do
no,
this.
like I said though, like it happened in the original series. Kirk was
Yeah,
split
see?
into a good Kirk and a bad Kirk
because of the replicator.
because of the transporter.
Or
Yeah,
I'm sorry, the transporter. Sorry.
Yeah.
Transporter.
So it has.
Okay, so this is something that, because I was just like, oh, why aren't they freaking out?
Well, it's one of those things where it's happened multiple times in Star Trek, and they kind of just go, "Don't worry about don't worry about the like ramifications of what this means for society."
Hold
Like-
up, Marvin.
Like-
Do you think that's the records that Picard was trying to get rid of? He's like, there's records down there that show that we've made two Rikers. We got to delete them. And maybe originally he's like Riker. Maybe
more like 400,000 Rikers.
maybe
also
only one
Thomas
survives.
Like the transporter has solved all sorts of things. It's solved the problem of aging twice. Right?
Yeah.
It turned old.
It's literally
why would anyone ever die?
Yeah.
Why would anyone ever die?
They demonstrated it twice.
Bring them back?
Old Pulaski was turned back to regular Pulaski, and people were accidentally turned
and solution to all of age's problems.
And people were accidentally turned into children.
Dude, remember that old timer that had that Professor Xavier wheelchair?
Yeah,
he could have just jumped in there and
they could have fucking transported him back to young age. Anyone.
The fucking baby episode.
They
remember
can do this
when they all turned into the baby geniuses for a second there?
Remember, that's the thing. So in Rascals, what they really needed in Rascals was, okay, you've turned into children. However, there's now a ticking clock component, because it turns out that when you get turned into children by the transporter, you'll die in like a week or something. You know, like they needed some sort of negative side effect to having been turned into children.
Yeah, they needed
some sort of stakes.
Why? It's bad enough that they're children.
remember when that old guy was trying to save the planet, and he's like, "Oh, I'm old though. I have to die. I have to kill myself." He could have just gotten back and become young again, and he had another 10 years.
Yeah. It's all nonsense at this point.
Well,
it's
that would have been blasphemous to the culture.
This changed things, and I'm going to be upset if they don't fix this.
Nope.
Coming up. That's why this is a 5, dude. This is a 5 for me.
Because you already know that they're not going to address it.
Yeah, I'm retroactively giving it a bad rating because they're going to fuck it up. Yeah. Retrograde.
Preemptively retrograding it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a 7. I'm going to go with the 7.
Okay.
I like this episode a lot, actually, but I could relate to it in more ways than one. You know, I'm a duplicate times 3 or maybe times 2.
But you're not even a duplicate because you're not identical. You're not identical.
Actually, that's true. Yeah, you're not identical.
We're not.
Triplet,
I'm a fraternal triplet, so a natural fraternal triplet. We'll add that in. But
that you know of.
I was.
Yeah. You don't know if any of your siblings are bionic.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Or
but
you.
I felt like this was very close to. I will say, like, there was a period of my life where I felt like it was bringing up similar feelings that I had when my sister. There was an opportunity for my sister and I to work at the same company, and I was already working there, and she was going to be offered a job there at the same company as me.
Hold up. I have a question before you go on.
Mm-hmm.
Was it higher ranking than you?
No, it was just different departments doing.
Would she have been at the same level or higher than you?
Same level. Yeah, same level, just doing something different. And like I told her, you can't do it. Like, no, I don't, this is my.
But why?
Because this is my. I just felt like it was impeding on my life and my career.
But how was it though?
Because it's like having someone who looks very similar to you, and also through nature and nurture has a lot of the same characteristics of you, is different than you, but does embody a lot of the same traits physically and emotionally and work ethically and whatever, that it was too close for comfort for me. So I felt very like, no, you have to, I'm not allowing you to do this. And she didn't do it,
So you were like the bad Riker.
I was the bad Riker. Yes.
But I still don't understand.
Wow, I didn't know that happened.
Yeah. But I don't understand what was it?
I mean, I felt bad. I felt bad.
Besides the bad vibe, which is what you're describing, kind of. What is like?
Because it's mine. Because it's my job. It's my
but it wasn't even in your department. It wasn't in your department.
No, I know.
Though.
But it's too. Wow, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe it.
I think that's like a really bad thing you did.
But you guys are not multiples. You don't deal with
doesn't
like.
Matter.
It doesn't matter. Here's the thing.
Matter. It does.
There's a cousin.
No, I'm sorry. I don't think that's okay. What you did.
Reach out to me multiples. No, it did. And again, this is early 20s. This is like when I'm like,
I think that's really mean.
Different.
Actually.
And yes, I felt mean about it at the time. My parents definitely called me mean, but I would have
ignored you though. I would have just I would have like, I don't care how you feel.
No, she understood, I think.
So you're saying she's a good twin?
Yeah, probably in this instance. But I'm just saying, like, I when I saw this episode, it brought up those feelings and those memories to me of like, oh, having someone who is kind of like your twin in your workplace and in your life, and now all of a sudden they're like involved in this way. It's not something I wanted at the time. It's not something, and now I work with her and I love it. So it's just like, it's funny. Now I want to work with her and have her around me all the time. But there's just some times in your life where you just don't want that. And also when you're a multiple, there is a strong sense of trying to develop yourself as an individual after being considered not, as part of a group growing up. Like that's a common theme in my life is like, when you are a multiple and you do have a twin or a triplet or whatever, you are always chasing this individuality to kind of like set yourself apart from this group of people. And so,
but I thought you always saw the good in people.
And not if you're my sister.
I don't see the thing where I deviate from your thought process on that though, is that like, you can do that for yourself, but I don't think it's fair to try to then determine that for your other multiples
you're
for
not
them.
A multiple.
No, it doesn't matter.
But I'm saying it's not your right to like.
No, you're right. I absolutely agree with you. The thing is like my argument is not logical. It's totally coming from an emotional place of being a multiple and having to deal with that. Is it right? No. Is it logical? No. Is it fair? No. Yes. No, it's not fair. It is fair. See, even my mind was like, yeah, it is fair.
I was like, no, it's not fair.
It's totally fucking fair. Fucking find your own job, motherfucker.
She did find her own job in a different department.
No, but it wasn't. I didn't want it to be at the same company. That's just not something I wanted. So, and she did. She found her way. But like, it's just something I feel like when you're a multiple,
so she persevered even though she was kept down by her twin. This is what you're saying.
I'm sure there are times where she felt, you don't want your twin or your person that involved in your life when they're already involved in so many other things. You feel like you have nothing for yourself.
And I get it. But
yeah, is it right? It's not right.
Here's the thing. For me, it's more like themes that run through my life as opposed to, so you must have an issue with that theme that runs through your life.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Because individually, for me, it's like, I think loyalty is like the biggest thing. When I'm like, why would I like, it's, if I can help somebody, like I get why people make movies with the same people. Like I get it. I get why Seth Rogen makes it, but because I would do the same thing. I like, if I know you're good at this and you would thrive, I would never, I don't care if I would get my sister a job. I would get anybody a job. Like I've consistently gone to the same schools, the same colleges. My first 2 jobs was with my cousin. I literally did everything with him because it was more like, well, when I'm there, you could help me when I'm weak at something, and now I could help you with what you're weak at. And but I'm not fighting in trying to be an individual. To me, my theme was different than yours. My theme was like,
yeah. But you probably already felt like you had an individual sense of.
I also didn't care. I didn't care.
It wasn't a priority for you.
Yeah, it's not a priority to me. Like,
interesting. Yeah, paid. I mean, obviously, I don't know if it would have been a priority for me had I had siblings that were different in age from me, even by just a minute.
Yeah. I mean, technically, you were by a minute,
but like maybe if you were a year older than me, or
a
year,
but
you're
you
younger.
Guys, I mean, I guess I don't know how you guys looked before, but like you don't look like each other.
We don't look anything alike. No, absolutely not. Yeah. But when we were younger, we looked more alike, and also to people who didn't take the time and examine our face, a quick passerby could be like, oh, Sarah, Selena, I don't know which one, if you're not really like paying attention. Obviously now that we're older, that's completely not the case. But at the time it was the case. And, I just didn't want to be grouped. I was already grouped as with people in my personal life. I didn't want to be grouped that way in my professional life. I didn't want to be defined by somebody else, you know? Or
I just want to go on the record
associated
and
with
saying
someone
that,
else?
like, no, never mind. I don't want to go on the record and say anything.
No, you can say it. You can say I'm shitty.
No, now you got to go on the record.
No, that was just it. Like that was kind of a look.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of shitty things in my life.
I mean, it's shitty.
That's one thing I would never do.
But that's the thing is I do not feel that way now. Like,
Yeah.
I felt that way, but that's growth, everybody. When you go to enough therapy.
But I guess
and
also
you
it's a
learn.
good way to tie it into the fact that like the way Will is acting in this episode is not logical at all. He's just being a huge. I feel like you could have easily written a scene where Deanna goes to him and goes, "Will, stop being a baby bitch. Like you are being really mean to
or
Thomas
full grown bitch.
For no reason."
Like, wait, no, my life.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I recognize that behavior. I was like, that was me in my early 20s where I just was like, you're a fucking dumbass. Why would you fucking think of it that way? Why don't you go do this? Like, think harder next time, or whatever the fuck he says, you know?
And I say that facetiously, like, wait, my life. But like, if I were in Will's position, I would feel kind of threatened by the sudden existence of another legitimate me. That has actual history that is mine. Also,
and also, it seems like quietly that my old flame, not quietly actually, at a certain point, that she likes him better. So he's like, "Oh, I'm actually the inferior Riker to some degree."
See, to me, I just think like, look, think of the things we can do if we.
You want a parent trap? You immediately go to the parent trap.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like I'm like, yeah, like how like my sister.
No, we're not gonna Eiffel Tower here. We're not gonna.
No, not even that.
Whoa,
not even that. Like,
whoa,
like literally scheming, dude. Like,
but with the tube going under it and everything.
I can't even. Yeah, dude. The future's tube. I can't see this without seeing like all the schemes you can do. You know what I mean? All the cons you could pull. Like I would.
Oh my god!
I see my exact same replica, and I'm like, we're gonna do some damage. Dude.
The biggest con I pulled was to like use my sister's ID for something if I didn't have it. You know, like that kind of thing.
That's not even a con. You just used your own ID, basically.
You know, it was like pretended to be her.
But like you literally. Are the same age. Like,
it's actually fine.
Well, like it's not my ID technically. I am not the person on that ID.
But usually the ID is to verify.
Don't worry, Sarah. I legitimize the illicit nature of your use of that card.
I don't think the government would be okay with that. Although I will say there is a weird, I don't know, loophole in iPhone. My sister's face can open my iPhone and vice versa.
Well, yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah, if it's close enough. Yeah,
but that feels like a security risk, like of some kind, and we don't even have close enough faces where I'm like, oh yeah, this is valid.
But Marvin, sorry, I know Marvin, you don't have any siblings, but Dan, how many siblings do you have?
I got 2 older brothers.
2 older brothers. How? What's the age difference?
6 and 7. I'm an accident.
Okay.
Boy.
Yeah. So I'm 6 years older than my sister, but I would constantly get her to cover for me when she was younger. Like, it'd be like, sometimes I had to take her to school in the mornings, and I'd be like fucking like still drunk, and I'd be like, cover for me. Like, if I'm driving bad, fucking like tell me, dude. And I'd just be driving drunk in the mornings, taking her to school, and or like she like they'd be like, is your brother here? He's like, yeah, he's here, and then I wouldn't be home, be out.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But we'd always cover for each other.
Yeah. There's people with certain themes in their lives who'd be like, oh my God, Ricardo, what the fuck at that?
Yeah.
I remember when my brother told on me for watching wrestling.
See?
He didn't cover
I remember you telling me that. I'm like, that's
you guys have
so
no
lame.
loyalty, dude. You guys have
no loyalty. He fucking crumbled.
Some of the lamest bullshit.
I was not allowed to watch wrestling, but I wanted to be one of the cool kids at school talking about WWE or WWF at the time. And I was watching some wrestling.
Oh, I'm going to snitch on you for like doing cocaine or something. It's like, no, I'm going to snitch on you for watching wrestling. Like, what a lame
I got in trouble. I got in big fucking trouble for watching wrestling.
Was it worth it? Who'd you see?
I don't even remember. He snitched on me like instantly. It was just like I was watching it and he was like there, and then it was just like immediate. I was like, oh my god.
At the end, did he cross chop his nuts and say "suck it"?
I would have understood maybe.
When my sister was really young, I let her watch Child's Play, Chucky. And then she went to school the next day and told everybody. And then my dad had to sit us down And then I thought he was going to yell at us for that. And then he's like, next time you don't tell anybody the movies you watch.
Oh my God.
That's true. Yeah.
And we learn to keep our fucking mouth shut.
I mean, that's what my dad told me when we had seen, I forget what it wasn't Taxi Driver. It was another Scorsese movie. And then the next day at school, I talked about it. And then my dad was like, on a drive home, I was like, I was talking with my friends about that movie we watched. And my dad was like, don't tell your friends we watched that movie. Because we're going to get in trouble because you're not supposed to be watching that.
Yeah. So silly now that we think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's that's the parental discretion they advise.
Yeah. That's parental discretion. Yeah. What about you, Dan? What do you think? What was your score?
I would give this episode an 8. I think it's pretty good.
Ocho?
I particularly like the 2 main scenes Deanna has with either Riker that kind of parallel each other. I kind of like how you can really tell that there are 2 different Rikers in either scene. And I feel like, yes, very good acting from Frakes and Marina Sirtis, both.
Yeah, I would say in general that like Jonathan Frakes' acting in this episode is quite good. In the sense that as Thomas, he's very good as acting as someone who hasn't talked to anyone in 8 years. Like he's like very good at like making it seem like it's difficult for him to like learn how to figure out how to put a sentence together correctly and like figure out the flow of a conversation. Like when he starts that conversation with Deanna, he goes, well, like we were here, and it doesn't seem like he knows how to start. And so like Deanna kind of starts, despite the fact that he's the one who brought her there. And I think that's one of the things I like the most about the episode is that like it's surprisingly a strong performance episode, especially for Frakes and Marina together. So
yeah, in particular, like of Marina Sirtis' acting, there's like a few reaction shots or a reaction shot they keep coming back to of her eyes, like they're glazed over because she's like really wistful about what she's hearing from Riker as he's talking. And it's about to inform what she'll tell him next about, how disappointed she was. It was good. I like that little bit there.
And it's actually kind of really sad when she goes, what I didn't tell you was how disappointed that made me when he decided to. And it's like, oh my God. So like he broke her heart basically. And I don't think before this episode, I like how they both
punctuate their difficult sentences by drinking from a cup.
Yeah. And I feel like isn't this the first episode where we kind of have seen this much detail about
we haven't really got the background of what happened.
Yeah, it's the most detailed account we've ever heard about what made them drift apart.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Riker's fault.
Yeah,
so that kind of recontextualizes.
Would stay in to watch primetime TV, and he wouldn't want to go out.
It kind of recontextualizes that episode where Teabag came to marry her, and Riker was like pouting, and Deanna was like, okay, weren't you the one who didn't want to marry me?
And it turns out she was totally right. Like that's exactly what it worked out. That's
and Riker is just being a little baby.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
2 things I wanted to point out was near the beginning when Thomas is first being told by Deanna, like, wait, hold on, I got to tell you something. Like, stop macking on me for a second. And he's like, you're on board because of him. He says you're on board because of him, and it like I rewatched it a little bit, and then it made me realize, he thinks she might have married him. And that's why she's on the ship right now.
Yeah.
And so like he was already jumping to a worst case scenario where she's already taken by himself, but she's not.
Right.
So that was a nice little bit of like, contextually, like that line made more sense on a
because
rewatch.
he would have imagined that, we did get together and we had a beautiful life and all that. And I'm like, yeah. I think it's actually surprising to him that like, we didn't have a beautiful life together. That's crazy. Like, just neat.
Yeah, and he has to kind of like process that a bit before he like kind of realizes, wait, hold on. I'm still here. I'm not going to give up though. Hey.
Yeah, that is neat.
Yeah, and also we skipped over the one bit that Data had in this episode where he goes over to Worf and, tries to ask him about like, hey, like he doesn't seem to get along with himself. And Worf is like, some people, are hard to get along with, or like, I'm not easy to get along with. And Data,
I agree with that. I 100% agree
he asked
with that.
Worf, how would you feel if you met a double of yourself? And he goes, I don't think I would handle it very well. because I'm not
says,
an easy
Worf
person.
just says, I am not easy to like get along with, and Data just like quietly agrees, and Worf goes like looks at him like with a whip to like is like, hey, you're supposed to agree with me.
But also Data knows a little bit about not getting along with a version of himself, because
It's true.
There's a lore. There's a lot of doubles in the series.
Yeah, it's good when you have cast members who can act as multiple people.
Yeah. Also, by the way, this episode was directed by LeVar Burton.
I was going to bring that up last.
What?
Yeah.
Really? Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
It's his directorial debut, and it's a very difficult first episode to direct.
Yeah.
Because it's very, very special effects.
The twins.
Yeah. So,
wow.
I
also wanted to point out something about this episode that I maybe noticed for the first time so much was the amount of times everyone was fussing with their uniform shirts to like pull them down. It just was so obvious how many times Picard and Riker were like constantly readjusting the shirts.
Spread it to everyone.
Yeah.
But it was just
I think
so
that is
much.
colloquially known as the Picard maneuver, no?
Yes,
it is.
I guess all these seasons I had noticed it every now and then, but this episode, it felt like it was every shot almost of just readjusting the fucking shirt. And I was like, damn, why don't they get them more comfortable uniforms?
Maybe they got new dry cleaners that week.
Yeah, I was like, is it like really itchy? They're just like always adjusting it. And it just I felt like I noticed it so much.
Honestly, by the time of season 4, every male actor tends to do that when they sit down. They you see Geordi and not Data. Brent Spiner doesn't do it, but you notice even like Worf does it when like he sits down. He goes with his shirt too.
But like, why is it so? Is it just so stiff and like uncomfortable?
I think part of it is that like it's this weird single piece that is zipped from the back and it's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and also when they sit down, they want it to still look nice and smooth and not wrinkled. So maybe they're given.
Usually, when they sat down, the collar tended to ride up a little bit, and the shoulders too.
Yeah, it just is super noticeable in this episode how many times everybody is readjusting the fucking uniform.
Yeah, it's not just for like a sitting down gesture. It's more like they turned it into acting business. Like
they do it also when they're like feeling like nervous. There's like one shot where like as Riker is or Will is talking to Thomas. Will like feels uncomfortable about talking about their dad, so he kind of goes, like stretches his shirt while talking, like, so it's almost like part of like the performance now. It's not just like a little affect they do. So
I mean, if those are the uniforms you're wearing, natural habits will form. It makes sense to me.
It does make sense. I have wore a uniform very similar and stiff, and I found myself constantly adjusting it like that. So
there you go.
It was. I guess this was just the first time I noticed it so much. And it was interesting.
For my part, this is gonna be weird. I'm gonna actually go really high. I'm gonna give it a 9. I do like the episode quite a bit.
Okay.
I mean, I think once you get over the hump of the transporter, because that's basically something you have to get over.
That's a huge hump, dude.
But that's like all of Star Trek, right? Like all of Star Trek.
We've hand waved enough fantastical technological things that should always be used all the time.
That's it.
The thing, but like specifically with the transporter, you just have to take at face value what they tell you about the transporter, because if you don't, then the world should be transformed and be a different world altogether. But if you just take it at face value as this is a plot device, then the rest of the episode is quite good, and it's actually very, very good in the sense of very good character interactions. I really like the way they kind of all mingle together. Like you feel the tension between like Deanna and the two Rikers like a lot. Like it's really well acted.
Like it's good payoff for people who've been following the show for this long. Like there's good callbacks to like previous episodes. It's good development of an ongoing relationship that people kind of held on to for a while, but nothing's really happened with for a while.
And it's good like more backstory that people were always wondering about, like why are Deanna and Riker sort of friends with benefits? Like how did they end up in this spot? And it actually is kind of well explained that they were like, well, they were passionate lovers that drifted apart, but now they're friends again. So that kind of makes sense. That's why they are where they are right now. Like it sort of makes sense. And I do like that they made, honestly, I know it's kind of a joke thing to say, but it's kind of a brave choice to have Thomas live at the end and have him go off as his own character and have his own adventures. I think that's a neat idea.
Presumably.
It just, we'll just have to see if that has any payoff at some point. But, it's a brave idea to actually keep a second Riker around. I mean, that's got to affect some things at some point. So,
yeah. I wish that they had successfully introduced a lasting double for every main cast member. Like you got Brent Spiner with Lore, you got Thomas with Will, and there should have been an alternate Picard. Like Locutus should have broken off to be a real person.
like we separated your Borg parts and then reconstructed them. Then that became its own. Or and Geordi has an evil Geordi that doesn't need a visor. It's just LeVar Burton,
and he can't talk. He has a face mask on.
Yeah, he only likes reading. That's all he cares about. There's a Beverly who's actually a celebrated doctor back on Earth.
Great person.
That was second. Just to preface, not preface, just to admit, I guess, I forgot to do the Discord rating this week. So I'm going to do is I'm going to put the poll up, and then next week we'll start off the episode by saying this is what the Discord thought of Second Chances. So that's my bad.
Then we'll have to remember the scores that we gave this week.
Okay, so what was it? Ricardo gave a 5. I gave a 9.
7. Sarah
gave a 7. And Dan, what did you give, Dan? I forgot.
You know what? I'm willing to adjust up half a point. 8.5.
Okay, 8.5. Okay, all right. Okay, so all right. So we'll keep that in mind for next week. But yeah, that was Second Chances. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you liked what we did there with this podcast, maybe you could give us a like or a rating or a comment or review wherever you are on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Podcast Addict or whatever. And also, we have a Patreon and we have a YouTube membership. Those are pretty neat because not only do those things, both the Patreon and the YouTube membership, get you early access to new episodes, usually at least a week early, but it also gives you access to a private Discord, gives you access to ad-free versions of those episodes. If you go to the Patreon, you get a dedicated private RSS feed, so you can have your podcasts as audio a week early on your own private podcast app.
Your own sneaky links, or what are they called?
Yeah.
I love sneaky links.
Your own shady sites.
Shady sites, yeah.
Shady sites, creepy corners.
Yeah,
I don't know. Creepy corners, sneaky links.
Yeah, so you could check that out. Just you can go to patreon.com/newbie Star Trek, or we have links in our podcast description for both the Patreon
patio
membership. That's good, actually. The Patreon portal. So there.
Patreon portal.
And also check out fugitiveframes.store. It's our merch store. We got two shirts there and a hoodie. Check it out. I'm trying to make more stuff. Been busy. Sorry about that. Also, if you guys ever want to send us an email, you can always email us at contact@newbiestartrek.com. That's contact@newbiestartrek.com. This week, the email is from Dan from Texas.
Dan? No, okay. Dan from Texas.
And the subject line is titled, "You would like this. They kill a baby in the first episode." So,
wow. Okay.
So, hey, y'all. My wife and I are also on a Star Trek trek, and I have been listening along as we watch each episode. That tied me over in between. I started listening to Would You Stay Tuned and was pleased to see Battlestar Galactica as your pilot. I have turned a few friends onto Battlestar Galactica, but unfortunately, once in my pitch, I mentioned as a selling point that they kill an infant in the first episode. This has evolved into what my friends describe as Dan's Law, which in short states that a show is guaranteed to be good if they kill a child in the first episode. To this day, I get recommendations phrased exactly like the subject line of this email. However, I have found it to be universally true so far. Have any of you discovered any signs that tell you a show is going to be good? Keep up the good work, Dan from Texas.
Dan from Texas. That is a really good point.
Great question.
If Marvin doesn't like a show, I'm going to definitely give it a shot.
If Ricardo doesn't like a show, it's definitely a great show.
Yeah, you guys are each other's
Unless it's the Penguin, then we both like the Penguin. Yeah. Or the Sopranos. Or
I only watch things that they both agree on.
There you go.
You're on the Venn diagram. You're in the middle of the Venn diagram.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I mean, for Star Trek, I feel like if Marvin tells me like, "Oh, I'm gonna hate something," or "Oh, we're gonna love it," it's like same thing. It's gonna be the exact opposite. Because there was that one episode. I know this isn't exactly the question, but there was this one episode that you were so convinced I wouldn't like, and I really loved it. I forgot what it was. It was a couple episodes back.
It was a few episodes back. I think it
Wishes Were Horses.
Wishes Were Horses. Yes,
but the
one with
silly
Rumpelstiltskin.
one. Yeah, I love that one.
I miscalculated.
If there's
But you haven't watched any TV, so it's really hard to tell.
I watch a lot of TV. I mean, in general, if there's animals in something, I'll probably.
I was about to say, like, if you can pet a dog in a game, that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah, if there's a cat or a cool animal, like an animal companion of some kind, I'll probably like it.
Yeah, but you could pet the cat and then kill the cat in Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, then I probably won't like the show, so that's a red flag for me. If there's any kind of animal violence, I will not watch. Probably.
I mean, it's a point that you hunt the animals.
That's true.
Yeah, no,
don't watch Angry Birds.
Yeah, I'm good.
Dude. You use birds to kill other birds or pigs.
Violence.
I mean, you mentioned Would You Stay Tuned? I think that's kind of the point of Would You Stay Tuned is that, like, to me, I do feel like if a show put in the time to make a really good pilot, there's a thing that I learned from grad school. One of my professors was like,
"Oh boy, here we go, dude."
No, this is more like when you start.
Check you on this one.
When you start off a movie, just make the audience feel like they're in good hands. Basically, show them that you either have you have some sort of mastery of something, either the storytelling, or it's technically very good, or the acting is very good.
Okay, I don't know about
once you have that. Once you have that, like,
I think
have you seen The Wire? Have you seen the pilot for The Wire?
I would want someone
the pilot for The Wire is really good. What are you talking about?
Happens in The Wire pilot,
but it's a really good pilot. Like, that's why you're in for a good time.
This is what we're talking about. Where exactly. But I mean, I would want someone to excel on all of those things. Like, for me, it's not enough if a pilot is just technically good. Like, I mean, I want you to be technically good. I want your writing to be good. I want all of these things.
I agree. Yeah. But I feel like basically, if you can demonstrate that the audience feels like they're in good hands,
demonstrate 2 out of 3, maybe. I don't know.
Then, like, for example, I don't know if this is a popular or unpopular opinion, but like, I saw the first episode of Daredevil Born Again, and I kept watching, but that first episode, I was like, I don't think this is going to be a great show.
This proves that your point is wrong, because it was not a good pilot, and you still kept watching.
No, not that, like, it asked you if you think it's going to be good or not. I kept watching because I was like, I actually fallen off. I haven't even finished it because I have no desire to really continue after a certain point. But I saw the first episode.
You don't want to know how I went blind?
At the very last episode,
they tell you, dude.
Finally, the mystery is solved. Yeah,
because he goes back in time, and they're like, "This is why he goes blind." And it turns out he's
behind a bookcase. He's like, "Don't get the green goo in your eye. You're gonna get blind."
It's like that training video with Phil Ken-Sebin where he has all those dangerous objects near his eye.
Nope, that's not how it happened. His dad tells him, don't jerk off too much because you're going to go blind. And he does, and he fucking goes blind. Dude.
Yeah, he jerks like crazy.
Yeah, it was a freak jerking off accident.
This is a kind of a side thing. It's not really but the idea of something in every episode, that's good. Dan and I, and also our friend of the channel, Nate, who made the songs, we used to have a joke that every movie has some butt sex in it somewhere. It just may not necessarily be directly on screen.
Well,
so, every good movie? What did you say?
That's true about someone shitting in every movie. You just don't see it on screen.
Yeah, every movie has butt sex somewhere in it.
You can say that about anything. Okay. There's somebody dying in every movie, but you don't see it. It applies to everything, dude.
No, but like, it's not like, just somewhere in the city. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. Some shows rules don't apply. Like it's just like Seinfeld. It's about nothing.
Yeah, I love Seinfeld. Actually,
you can't tell me an episode of Seinfeld that where you're like, what's it about? And you're like, it was about a fucking squeaky fucking shoe. Like literally, they can make a show out of anything, dude.
They don't really have, but that's a great show. Yeah, I love it.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily.
No, I'm just saying, like, there's always an exception to the rule. You know, that's all I'm saying is that like.
What was the rule?
I mean, there's probably things where
you just said like it just has to hook you. Every single episode has to hook you or something. It has to be interesting.
No, you just make the audience feel like they're in good hands. And I do think the first episode of Seinfeld does make. them feel like they're in good hands.
Writing. Yeah. I mean, Seinfeld is excellent comedy writing and comedic
and the
timing.
Characters are funny.
Yeah,
it's funny. I don't think I fell in good hands. I was like, every episode was like, I don't know if I'm going to watch again. Like I hate Newman, dude.
I feel like good hands.
And then like I'd watch again.
Look, Ricardo's okay being held in one hand if he needs to be. He doesn't need both hands. But you may feel that way about an actor. Like I know that there may be some actors that I see in a show and I'm like, oh, okay, this is probably going to be a good show. I think I feel that way about Kate Winslet.
Because of Titanic? You're like, if she shows her boobs, we know it's going to be a good fucking movie or show.
I just think she's a great actor. And I feel confident that she would sign on to a show that she felt was good for her. I think she participates in projects that I feel I enjoy as well. Like we're on the same wavelength, probably. I don't know, but probably not. I don't know her, but everything that she's in, I tend to enjoy. So there's probably actors you feel that way about. I don't feel that way about many actors, but she's one of them.
It's more filmmakers.
What are the
I have filmmakers too, actually. Yeah, too.
What are the things that Kate Winslet's been in? Because I can think of two.
Well, I love Heavenly Creatures.
Like. Yeah, Heavenly Creatures and
Heavenly
Titanic.
Creatures. I am obviously she's in
she's in Wonder Wheel. Do you like Woody Allen?
No, I don't like Woody Allen.
So she doesn't always make good choices.
I said mostly. The Reader. I like The Reader. I liked Revolutionary Road.
Okay, Revolutionary Road, right? The unofficial Titanic.
There was a miniseries. That miniseries that she was in. I really loved. God, what is that? Hold on, it's gonna kill me.
Contagion.
Do you guys remember the miniseries?
Mildred Pierce.
Yeah, Mildred Pierce. I love Mildred Pierce.
Right. Yeah.
She's just in a lot of good things that I really like.
Was Kate Winslet the one that was in?
Was it Little Children? I really liked Little Children.
Was that her?
Little Children was so fucking good.
Mayor of Easttown sucks.
Quills. Oh my God, I love Quills. Sorry. Fucking love Quills. Totally forgot about that movie.
Yeah, Mayor of Easttown sucked though. That was not a good show.
Sense and Sensibility. Love that. Yeah, she's just in a lot of, I really like her, honestly, all the way from the beginning. Heavenly Creatures, she's amazing. Sense and Sensibility, Titanic, Quills.
What was the question? What was the question?
Just, is there any signs of
like, what is an indicator that you're in for a good time?
I thought it was Kate Winslet movies, and then we're just like
Kate Winslet, Eternals, because I'm just forgetting now, like all the movies that I like that she was in. Yeah.
I don't need Kate Winslet to be in a show for me to know it's good. Like I could have other actors in it too.
No, I mean like that's just an indicator. Like I'm more inclined to think like, oh yeah, this is good.
But only King Winslet?
A good show. No, there can be other people. I don't know if I feel that way about any other actor, really.
Sam Rockwell? You feel the same way about Sam Rockwell?
I perk up a little bit when you have rampant glass breaking for no reason.
Okay.
Like a commando?
Pearls breaking? Pearls on the street?
No, that's too specific. That's just Batman. But like glass breaking for like people crashing through glass when it's not necessary.
Yeah.
Really?
Fantastic.
That's interesting.
Oh, Kate Winslet was in the Divergent series? Oh no, that was terrible. Oh boy.
No, she said everything. She said everything. She said everything Kate Winslet was in is gold.
Eternal Sunshine was decent. That was fine.
Eternal Sunshine's good. Oh my God, I remember
Clementine.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about this movie, Little Children.
You challenged her.
Yeah. Oh my God, I totally forgot about this movie.
Wonder Wheel, best movie. It is actually a really good movie. I have been.
Oh, she was in movie 43. So,
anyway,
that was
Wonder Wheel.
Okay, God, I didn't say everything. Jesus Christ.
But here's honest truth. Wonder Wheel is actually a decent movie. Here's the thing about Woody Allen. You have to pick and choose which artists. You have to pick and choose which artists you're gonna do the whole separate the art from the artist thing. Like it's just
no, you don't have to.
So Woody Allen is my, would definitely be my red flag. If it's like, are there things that are red signs to you to stay far away? Things there are certain people.
Yeah,
and things that I probably would stay.
There are worse people in Hollywood. So.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's
Michael Bay. I could think of that's one person.
Michael Bay is also a sign for me that I
don't have to watch his movies either.
Yeah.
Yep. Will not watch his movies either. Yeah.
Anything Lord of the Rings. If it has the Lord of the Rings in the title, it's gonna be shit. I know it automatically.
Oh my gosh, I love Lord of the Rings.
It's racist. God. It's gonna be racist and anti-gay.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Just let the fucking hobbits fucking kiss, dude.
They do.
If Peter Jackson came out and said,
on the forehead,
this is a cut scene. This is a cut scene they're just making out, dude. I'd be like, you know what?
A cut scene in a movie?
It redeemed the whole fucking trilogy for me. Dude.
Someone recontextualized it in a way that I was like, you know what? That does make sense. Where it's actually a good example. Well, there are.
Yeah.
But it is a good example. I believe so. But
the orcs don't count, dude.
No, well, it's a good example of being able to show like outward male physical affection for each other without having to be like, but are they gay though? Like, because they just like are fond of each other as
but
friends.
Are they kissing?
No. Yeah, here's the thing, dude.
But here's the thing. Everyone did go, but are they gay though?
Yeah. But here's the thing, Marvin. In all the European countries, in India, men hold hands that are just bros. They're broing out hold hands. They wouldn't even let them do that in the fucking movie, dude.
They did. They literally did hold hands. The short I made about you complaining about this, I found tons of footage of them holding hands.
You need to create like a supercut bargain of the Lord of the Rings romance cut.
Yeah,
and just post it to Newbie Star Trek channel.
Fucking TNT made a joke commercial about Lord of the Rings being a romantic comedy by juxtaposing shots of Sam and Frodo like walking through beautiful golden fields and holding hands while rom-com music was playing and Gandalf is giving them strange looks off camera. Like, it's been a joke that people did.
Here's honest truth, dude. Yeah. You get Terrence Malick to remake Lord of the Rings, and I'm gonna watch that shit, dude.
Why?
Because it's probably gonna have a lot of wheat fields as shots.
Because he'll remove all the plot and have it be about just
a
imagery.
Beautiful poem about hobbits, dude, and Christianity.
You'll watch it and be like, wait. Is what happened to Sauron? They didn't explain. Doesn't matter. It's not about that.
Yeah, I'm not
even sure if I've seen a Terrence Malick movie.
You have to have seen it, dude.
Tree of Life.
Yeah, dude.
No,
Badlands. Really?
No.
Thin Red Line.
Let's see. Okay, Badlands, Days of Heaven.
Nope.
Thin Red Line.
Nope.
The New World.
Nope.
The Tree of Life.
Nope.
Beautiful, and that's where it ends.
Wonder.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh my God, dude.
Nope. Just kidding.
I am utterly Malickless.
You haven't been Malicked?
No, not ever.
You're a Malick virgin?
I'm thoroughly unmalicked.
What to do? Would you stay tuned, Terrence Malick?
I got really
Newbie Malick.
I got really high one day, and I went to see it's a movie he directed. It was kind of like a pseudo documentary. It was like the what was it called? The Way of Fucking Life or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
Fuck, what was it called? A Voyage of Time. That's what it was called. And it was it was just Terrence Malick with shots of the primordial ooze and shit. And it was the best. It was the best 4 hours of my life, dude.
Amazing.
All right.
Well, clearly this was a very, very fascinating email question that we have a lot of opinions
Dan,
about.
Terrence Malick is my Kate Winslet.
Is your Kate Winslet?
Yeah. I'll watch.
Do you really love him? You really love him that much? I guess
Terrence
I didn't know
Malick?
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
do think it's funny that one of his favorite movies is Anchorman. Like he loves comedy.
No, you're thinking of it's Zoolander.
Oh, Zoolander, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like one of his favorite movies of all time is Zoolander.
Zoolander's great.
Yeah, like
There-
you
but-
just
but
wouldn't
for
think
this guy-
that based on what he likes to make.
There's an interview with Ben Stiller where he talks about how he was making Zoolander 2.
Yeah,
And they're like, hey, Terrence Malick showed up. He wants to meet you and he wants to see the set because he loves the first one so much. And he's like, what? And he's like, yeah, he's here. He just showed up unannounced and he wants to see what you're doing. Yeah. And he was there. He just loves Zoolander that much that he wanted to see the filming of Zoolander 2.
Nice.
Yeah. He's just a big fan.
Yeah.
Which is, I find interesting. I wonder if Terrence like gave him like pointers on how to direct, because when Ben's been directing Severance, it's really fucking good. Like he does know what he's doing. So I do wonder if
that's not a new thing.
What did
him being a good director is not a new thing. Like Reality Bites is like a really well directed movie.
Oh, Reality Bites sucks ass. I fucking hate Reality Bites. Oh my god,
dude! Just because you were the wrong age to see that.
Yeah, another Reality Bites is just a bunch of fucking like rich kids sitting on a rooftop singing songs and pretending it's art.
Practicing for fucking Phil Donahue's fucking show, and you didn't you weren't having fun, dude. You weren't even watching primetime TV, dude.
One of the worst movies ever made of that era. It sucks ass, dude.
Oh my god,
he was always a good director. Great. It's not a new thing.
What has he directed? He's directed Cable Guy, Zoolander.
Did he do The Secret Life of Walter Mitty himself?
He did, yeah, he did.
Okay.
He's always a great director. Yeah.
Okay.
The movie's a little slow, but
The Secret Life of Walter Mitty was like inspiring Google ad the movie.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the email, Dan from Texas. And thank you, everybody, for listening. If you guys want to check out things we do, you can head on over to fugitiveframes.com. Got links to all the stuff we do, including the Would You Stay Tuned podcast. We do have an episode in the can. I just haven't gotten around to editing it. It's a little hefty, but we're gonna get to it when we get to it. But next time on Newbie Star Trek, we're going back to DS9 because we're still flopping back and forth. And this episode of DS9, I hope I pronounce it correctly. It's called Dramatis Personae. I think that's the name of the episode. Dramatis Personae. So there you go. So
okay.
That's
looking forward to
it. There's a unaired pilot that he did, that Ben Stiller did, that I would love to see. It's basically like Knight Rider, but with a motorcycle, and it's Jack Black as the lead and Owen Wilson as the voice of the motorcycle.
It's like a parody of Knight Rider.
Owen Wilson.
Oh wow!
This sounds like a.
And it's created and directed by Ben Stiller. And I think it was a TV movie or something. I don't know if it was released. I don't know if
it was a parody of Knight Rider. It sounds like
did it fizzle because Disney was like, no, Owen Wilson is a car.
This is going to confuse our audience.
This is pre-Cars, I think.
No, they already had plans. They're like, no, we already have them on lock for Cars. Don't fucking ruin this for us, Ben Stiller. Yeah.
In the 90s.
We'll pay you out, Ben. We'll pay you out so you don't ever release this movie.
They just did the pilot, so I would love to see that.
All right, we'll see you guys next time, everybody. Stay safe. Have a great time. We'll see you again for Deep Space.
See you next time.
I was talking to somebody about, they're like, oh, I can't believe fucking Robert Downey Jr. This is fucking Dr. Doom, and I'm like, dude, he played a black man, dude. I don't think you got to worry about it, dude. I don't think you got to worry about his fucking acting, dude.
Well, he played a white man playing a black man terribly.
Dude, do you know how hard that is?
It needs that many layers.
You know how hard that is? You need the 3 layers of like he's playing a shitty actor.
There's hours of BTS of him like acting like fucking all these other actors, like what's his face? Yeah. The Gladiator actor.
Oh, Russell Crowe. Yeah.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
He's doing Russell Crowe doing like blackface.
Yeah.
Which is a great.
Well, now he's just a good actor. He's doing metal face.
Yeah.
He's doing Doom face.
He's basically doing the fake trailer in Tropic Thunder where he plays the priest, the British priest with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. Or well, we'll see. We'll see what it even is, because it could be I have a feeling Marvel has entered their swerve era. I'm going to put this on record now because Fantastic Four hasn't come out yet, but I've already said this in our private Discord before. I think the first 20 to 30 minutes of Fantastic Four, the first steps, is everything we've already seen in the trailer.
Yeah.
And the movie's going to do a huge swerve where it's going to turn out that like, oh, okay, they're pregnant with Franklin Richards, the super baby that can control reality. And Franklin is somehow going to emerge, fight Galactus, fuck up the entire multiverse, and thus throw this Fantastic Four into the mainstream MCU, and the rest of the movie is them actually contending with that. I think that's what they're going to do.
I want to go on record as saying that I think that same thing, but it's Doctor Doom because he wants to save Franklin because of how powerful he is. I think Doctor Doom defeats Galactus.
That's possible. Yeah, I think that could be a way of them just inserting him in there, and that's why it leads to Doomsday. And it's also possible that Doomsday, that is the plot of Doomsday. Doomsday is the plot of Doctor Doom wanting to capture Franklin for himself so that he can control reality, and that's why
Franklin the Turtle,
thus killing a baby, thus being a good pilot.
But also at this point, I'm so uninvested in Marvel movies that it could be whatever. And I'd be like, oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
It got too complicated. So it just feels like real comics now where it's like, I'll just pick up what seems interesting.
It's literally just become real comics or regular comics where it's just like, what's going on in the world of comics? And you read a wiki and you kind of go, oh, okay. And then you move on.
That one seems okay. Good people are attached to that one.
Oh, that's a Matt Fraction run. I'll read that one, So, like, so you can be like, oh, that's directed by the Shang-Chi guy. Oh, I'll read that one or watch that one, So I think that's what's going to be from now on, where you kind of just pop in every once in a while. Oh, because he made a good movie.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, I only support Asian filmmakers from now on.
I only support Asian filmmakers. Yeah. That's why I love Ben Stiller and Severance.
Or Pacific Islanders.
Well, he was playing an Asian director directing a movie. So, that's how deep he is, dude.
He got the tape on his eyes and everything.
Yeah. Dude.
Oh my God.
It was not tape. He actually got surgery, dude.
Oh, jeez.
Do you guys remember Remo Williams?
What about her?
No, the movie Remo Williams.
Oh, I thought you said Reba Williams.
Where Joel Grey played an Asian man with a tape in his eyes.
That's Grey? A lot of movies.
Dude.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
What year?
It was in the 80s. Type in Remo Williams, Joel Grey.
Is it as good as Chevy Chase, like in brown face in a taxi?
Worse, dude.
Oh my God.
Well, is it worse than Mickey Rooney with buck teeth?
Worse, dude.
It's hard to get worse than Mickey Rooney and buck teeth.
You don't know what worse is, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty. Even
wait, say what it was again, Ricardo. Your example.
Just type in Remo Williams, Joel Grey.
I'm looking that up, and that's honestly not as bad. It's honestly not as bad.
Now look at what he looks like in real life.
I know. I'm seeing it. I'm like, that's not even that bad compared to buck teeth Mickey Rourke.
At least from far away, I could almost be convinced.
Yeah, I mean, and also it's like it's hard to believe that with like with Mickey Rourke, they were actively making fun of Asian people. Like,
oh my God,
you keep on saying Rourke. Do you really mean Rourke?
Oh yeah.
Mickey Rooney.
Sorry, Rooney. I don't know why
he's all these Asian mitts.
Terrible.
He's doing the wrestler.
He's doing Sin City with slanted eye.
Oh my God.
Why are you playing this character like this?
In the wrestler, his wrestling persona, the Ram, is actually an Asian. So whenever he gets into the ring, he tapes his eyes.
Poor Mickey Rourke. He was like, I'm playing no part in this. This is not.
Though Mickey Rourke did like use like
he did do something weird, right?
Just recently,
he's recently been in the news for like some unsavory behaviors on Celebrity Big Brother.
Homophobic terms.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, who is this that you put here in this? Who is this person?
That's
Remo Williams,
the racist one,
Joel Grey.
This person's not Asian.
No.
Joel Grey, no, he's not Asian at all, dude.
This is terrible.
This is Joel Grey, non-Asian face. Joel Grey.
Oh my God.
Well, the thing is, compare that to Mickey Rooney
really
with the buck.
Oh,
look at Mickey Rooney with the buck teeth. Is
so
just
scare. Oh my God.
Is just like,
Jesus.
Oh my God, what are we looking at?
We need to have a collection of like all the horrific, yellow face. Like, oh my God.
Like,
This
Mickey
is so
Rooney was just
bad.
a talking propaganda poster.
This is so bad. This is so bad.
I mean, come on.
That's why when I was like in school, like in films class,
so bad.
or like in the theater, and then people would be like, "Oh, my favorite movie is Breakfast at Tiffany's." I'd be like, "Oh, you like racist movies? Got it." And like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And I'm like, what?
What do you mean?
How did you fucking miss it? What do you mean?
What do you mean? How is this your favorite?
Yeah. How?
Oh my God. What was this Thunder something? What was this called again?
Tropic Thunder?
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
There
I
we
was
go.
about to say Thunderpants, which is a very different movie.
Oh, Tropic Thunder.
That's the one about
that was really bad.
Ronnie the Bear farting.
What are you talking about? Tropic Thunder is amazing.
No, Ronnie the Bear is a scientist friend of the boy who can't stop farting.
Does he regret this role? What's his name regret this role? Because
Why would he regret it?
He actually has got on record as saying, like, I don't regret this role. He's like, people try to always put it out of context. He's intentionally playing a white guy who is playing a racist thing. Like, he doesn't understand what he's doing is racist. Like, that's his character. So it's like, it's not him being in blackface for a movie because Robert Downey Jr., the person.
Sarah, he did the commentary as the character.
Yeah, he did. I remember
he did
that.
The commentary as the British actor in character as in blackface.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it.
Because in the movie, in the movie, he's all staying in character until the DVD commentary is done. And he sure did.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you say that in the movie, you have to commit.
Yeah.
That's a bit you have to do.
That's kind of mandatory.
Back when DVD commentaries were way more willing to be off the rails and do whatever they wanted. Now, like DVD, like all the commentary tracks are like very like scripted, and it's just someone reading a script. Back
like
then, it was just
Arnold
people
Schwarzenegger commentaries where he just kind of like tells you what's happening on screen.
Yeah,
he's I smoke a cigar here.
Yeah,
what's the Predator one? Yeah,
the best is Terminator 3 because he's just like, oh, it's a female Terminator. Oh, look at her breasts. Like you'll be like, oh, she can make him bigger. Oh, like he's like
Marvin and I sometimes had to line up in our previous job, had to line up commentaries. For digital distribution, and our favorite one was McTiernan for Predator because he was like the most boring fucking commentary. He's like, if you notice the 20th Century Fox logo, it's an anamorphic, and we didn't film an anamorphic, and you're like, what the fuck is going on, dude? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. That was a joke through our office for a while where we'd be a producer would come in and would mention the framing, and we just started doing that. Well, you see, this interview wasn't shot for anamorphic.
You guys you go listen to it. If you own Predator,
it's such a weird
put it on and put the John
board
McTiernan
commentary where they were like, hey John, you have to do a commentary track for Predator tomorrow. He's like, I do.
He's like, let me take my anamorphic notes.
All right.
He pulled out all his notes and it's all about aspect ratio.
Yeah. So you just like try to remember, but you just talking about.
If you notice this logo, it's anamorphic. And the movie's not anamorphic.
Okay. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.